the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Who's going to win here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway?
This is the Lone Star Stage. The question is, who will be the Lone Star?
Welcome back here to Texas Motor Speedway. Happy Halloween. Thanks for joining us here. Trick or treat. Speaking of tricks and treats, we're about to see who's going to throw down the best tricks out here on track. The top 16 has been forged, and we are going to find out in just a little bit who's going to win round 5. But guess what? Wash, rinse, repeat. Once again for tomorrow, the doubleheader weekend continues. The tripleheader, if I may. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Batman. This is Ryan Robin Sage. Ryan, how's it going?
Pretty good.
You're still doing the rip thing.
Yeah, wearing my hat is hard with these cones.
No, I like it. It's good. So, yeah. So I've changed costumes. Thanks for joining us. Again, we are about to swoop on in here and find out who is going to be the superhero. You're just laughing at me. It's really hard to take me seriously. It's hard to take myself seriously. But in all seriousness, really excited about Top 16. So, without further ado, let's begin our United States Air Force opening ceremonies here at Texas Motor Speedway. Pay attention to the screen as our young men and women act their oath of enlistment.
I'm Major General Ed Thomas, Commander of the Air Force Recruiting Service, and I'm proud to join each of you today to deliver the oath of enlistment to the members of our Air Force Delayed Entry Program. These young Americans are our future leaders, innovators, and warriors, and I'm proud of each of their decisions to join the United States Air Force, the greatest Air Force in the world. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kevin Landon.
I, Emily Hall.
I, Nicholas Bruce Grigsby.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to the regulations.
According to the regulations.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you all, and aim high.
All right, as we are getting ready for our top 16 opening ceremonies, let's continue the party, and please stand and remove your hats as the ladies and gentlemen presenting the colors by the United States Air Force Junior ROTC Cadets of Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. Please stand and remove your hats. let's get down to meet our top 16. Thank you to the Air Force Junior ROTC Cadets of Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD for presenting our colors. All right, let's meet our top 16 drivers ready to do battle here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. All right, here we go. Kicking things off, the Intimidator. All the way from Georgia, make some noise for the Comp Cam's Achilles tire, Cadillac ATSV. It is Taylor Full Pull Hole. Coming up next down the line, a lot of fans here in the building and online in that Najuku Racing S15. Coming to us from Florida, it is Adam LZ. Three-time Formula Drift champ, a day one competitor since 2004. Here he is in Texas. Can he make it on top in the NOS Energy Drink Nissan 370Z on Nexon tires? It is Chris the Force Forsberg. All right, coming all the way from Ireland in the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles tires. Make some noise, doing it for Ida. It is Dean Carnage Carney. All right, a former champ in himself. He had some awesome runs in top 32. Here he is in top 16 in the Turton 14 distribution. Falcon Tires, Subaru BRZ. It is Slide or Daijiro Yoshihara. All right, a serious competitor for the championship here this year in the Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15. It is Odi Bakshis. Another champ in the building, the number 25, the professional fun haver, piloting the Monster Energy Nitto tire, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. He's ready to rock. Von Gittin Jr. Rounding out that RTR team, you can see the Type S lights lit up at Irwindale because that's where it all culminates. How is this boy going to do? He got on the box at round 2. Can he do it again? Behind the wheel of his BC Racing Nitto tires, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D for Chelsea Danofa. Ready to rowdy. All right, changing up the vehicles, but he is back with a vengeance. Oh, look at that. He's standing on his engine. Make some noise in the S14. It is Jonathan Nairn. Another champ, here we go, in that FCP Euro Liquimolly Achilles tire BMW from Southern California. It is Michael Essa. Some more teal and blue, piloting that Falcon Tires Drift Cave Pedal Commander Corvette. It is the Beast from the Bay, 777, Matt Field. He got the win at round 1 in St. Louis. Can he do it again in a brand new vehicle? Piloting the Rockstar Energy Drink. Toyota Racing, Toyota GR Supra. It is the Norwegian Hammer, Frederick Osbo. Some more Toyota Racing flavor all up in your ear. Toyota USA headquarters here in Texas. Let's make some noise again. He is currently your points leader, the Gum Out. Toyota Racing, Nitto Tires, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Say hello to the Rockstar, Ryan Turk. All right, moving on down from the Dominican Republic, our last battle of the 32, and here he is back at it again in the Jardot Metaldom Toyota Racing Toyota 86 from DR. It is Jonathan Castro. All right, moving right along in that Up Garage GT Radial S15, it is Kazuya Taguchi. Rounding out, last but definitely not least, he said he's going to take this thing to the moon. He's got to bring it. He's going against Odie, the Doc 370Z Edelbrock engine. Make some noise for Los Angeles alone, Jeff Jones. There you go. Those are your top 16 drivers ready to do battle, practicing social distance. Grab a drink, grab a good time. These are our top 16 drivers. Look at that. Even got a hot dog out there on track. Speaking of hot dogs, these hot dogs are going to do battle here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send it. Hashtag FDTX as our pilots get behind their wheel. Our fans, we do have fans in the building all the way up into turn 1, quite a bit of distance away, but we got the world's largest TV, Big Haas here. There are the vehicles. The drone, really a good indicator of what's going down. The truth serum, as I like to call it, the truth teller, cannot escape the eye in the sky. I'm Jared Dienda, Ryan Sage, and Lorette Nichols, will be your tour guides here. So I had a chance to talk to Staff Sergeant from the United States Air Force. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
We are with Staff Sergeant Anthony Guerra. And Anthony, where are we calling you from right now? You're like down the street, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Arlington, Texas.
Okay. I got to ask you right out of the gate, are you a car guy?
Somewhat, I'm more so involved, follow the human sports, but I can certainly appreciate the vehicle aspect of it and the human aspect of the vehicles too, and that relationship that they have to have.
Right, man versus machine versus just stick and ball. Wait, hold on. You said you're not a car guy, but you're from Detroit Motor City. I'm seeing Detroit Lions. I'm seeing Tigers. How are you not a car guy?
That's true. I guess you make a good point there. So all the family worked for the big three up there. So I grew up around it. I got interested in other things coming up.
And speaking of other things, how long have you been in the Air Force?
November 2nd will be my 10-year mark. November 2nd will be 10 years.
When did you start? When you were 12? I mean, you got a nice baby face on you, Anthony. You look good, man.
I wish I could say so. I appreciate it. It's just been a clean living,
That's good. That's awesome. So you've been in the Air Force for a while. How many roles have you taken? And now here you are as a recruiter. What got you here? What was your career path?
Well, I started off 10 years ago as a firefighter for the Air Force. Like you said, I'm from Detroit. I enlisted out of there. I was actually 22 years old. I waited a while to figure out what I wanted to do. Went through basic training, went through the fire academy. For 9 years, I was a firefighter for the Air Force, and then they selected me to be a recruiter and put bright, young, qualified, motivated young men and women into the United States Air Force.
I love it, and that's interesting. Out of all these interviews over the years that I've done, and I have a lot of friends that are firemen. So, man, you're serving, our country, and then you're serving your fellow, airmen and airwomen there in the Air Force. That's a unique role. I've never heard or have interviewed a fireman or fire gal in the Air Force.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Air Force has provided me with many great opportunities to serve both my community, for myself to help others, and I just continue that role, and I've embraced it all the way. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, the uniqueness, and that's what I really try to push with these interviews with recruiters such as yourself, is people think Air Force, it's airplanes, it's this, but there's so many different roles, so many different opportunities. So for anybody out there listening, rattle off, somebody aspiring to get in the military and the armed forces, rattle off some unique jobs that maybe you've placed people at.
Well, firefighting is certainly one of them. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, how can I could be a firefighter in the Air Force? Like, how does that work? The United States Air Force has 130 enlisted career fields. All types of opportunities out there, ranging from aircraft maintenance down to pest management, all the way over to services and you name it, law enforcement, fire protection. There's something out there for everybody, regardless of what their interests are. We can certainly find a for everybody.
That's great. All right, so how can people find more information about recruiting themselves and maybe engaging with you and getting some more information on the Air Force?
Absolutely. So the best way to do it is definitely go to airforce.com, and then there's going to be a connect tab on there. Be as simple as hitting connect, entering your zip code information, and there you go. It's going to put you in touch with your local recruiter. Regardless of what's going on with COVID, the Air Force is actively putting qualified airmen into the United States Air Force. Don't be fooled and told otherwise.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you at the track. You know what? I'm going to turn you into a car guy. Again, you said you had family that worked for the Major 3. We're going to get you in there. We're going to send it, bro. So next event, we'll have you out. Might even see you here this weekend. You might make a quick little cameo, right?
Sounds good. Possibly. Yep. You know it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the United States Air Force. Yeah. Thank you so much for the United States Air Force. Sorry to cut you off there. Staff Sergeant Anthony Guerra.
Thank you all.
And here we are. This is a look at the lay of the land. This is the map. You can see Forsberg versus Essa, Dean Carney versus Adam LZ, Naren versus Kazuya Taguchi, Von Gittin Jr. versus Field, and then on the other side, Ryan?
Big one. Chelsea Denofa, Frederick Osbo, Jeff Jones versus Odi Bakchis, Ryan Turk versus Daijiro Yoshihara, and Taylor Hull and Jonathan Castro capping off the first half of our top 16.
Yeah, it's gonna be a barn burner. Again, this track, it's very unassuming. It's pretty straightforward. But here's the highlights from round of 32. We saw Rome Charpentier as he went hard, but Dean Carney went even harder. And crazy, I saw him during the halftime break and wrapped out with him. And right before 32, his wheel just fell off. So he is, again, we talked about the gremlins that were in Seattle, but he's feeling the flow right now. And then, Ryan, we got Gucci and Taguchi.
Yeah, tough break for Ken Gucci. Just wasn't really able to get settled, and Taguchi got that win. He's moving on to the top 16. But here's a gentleman that really does need to carry the momentum if he wants to fight for a second championship. It's been since 2010. He was able to get through, and that's Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Matt Field is going to be going against that of Vaughn Gittin Jr. Travis Reeder, aggressive, but just wasn't precision enough. Just need to tighten it up just a little bit. And then we got Jeff Jones, who is in top 16. He went against Farouk, but now with Jeff Jones going against Odi Bakchis, he says again in his interview with Lorette Nickel, I got a rocket ship and I'm going to the moon, baby. Speaking of Odi went through Ryan Literal, who was on it, just not enough. Odi was really dialed.
Yeah, Odi obviously came off a big crash in Seattle, trying to rebuild here. And Ryan Turk, your current series leader, has been on the podium multiple times, I think almost every single event, but does not have a win just yet. That consistency, however, Jared, led him to get through Kyle Mohan and keeps him on top of the podium heap.
And this run right here, I think this is one of the best lead runs. It was clean. You can see him just flirting with the dirt right there, and then keeps it where the rubber meets the road. Just too much to handle for Dan Burkett, and this was really unfortunate. Dylan Hughes, I talked with him during the halftime break. He lost first and second gear. So on his lead run, the lights extinguished. He left the line, and basically that concludes that he started. Boom. Without even starting, he had to go to the other side, and then here he is. He started in third gear, dropped it, and then just did a burnout, and he said he just went to the side of Jonathan Castro. Here's a look at our current standings, Ryan. You're talking about Ryan Turk, leading the pack, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and you talked about Chelsea and Osbo, their battle, the first one on the right side of the bracket, and that could really change things up quite a bit. And also notably, JTP, Justin Pollock, who comes into this round sitting fourth, but unfortunately, man, he just went, you saw smoke come out of the hood. So guess what? Lorette Nickel is with a very disappointed JTP.
Really just in the pits right now, working on his car. Had a really tough practice. What happened?
Came around outer zone 3 and just lost power. Smoke comes up out of the hood, which is never a good sign. I set it down, brought it back over here. It was dumping oil out after the finish line. And we brought it back here, checked out the logs, and it looks like it lost oil pressure and probably broke a rod, windowed the block. So, we're just trying to get this thing put back together. We got our spare engine, but it's going to take some time.
Do you think you have enough time?
I'm not going to be able to make it before 32. I know practice is probably almost up, and I think we're one of the first few, we're on the left side of the bench. These slots take 5-6 hours probably, best case scenario. It's just, there's a lot of stuff to swap over. We have our spare engine prepped for the most part, but still, we got to take the headers off, and, this is the process. So it's not like a little four-bank. Get back out there, but we'll see what happens.
It's a beautiful day here, but unfortunately for JTP, not so pretty. But hopefully him and his team and the Falcon Tires team could get it together and get it back out on the track tomorrow. What? You're looking at me weird. Why is that? So, again, thank you guys and gals for joining us here. Round 5 of the Formula Pro Championship at stakes. Again, Ryan Turk hasn't won, but we saw Gittin that momentum coming in here. What do you think?
You know, I think it's going to be one of those 8 guys in that lineup that we put up there. There's about a 100-point spread from Ryan Turk all the way down to Matt Field. Easily overcomable, depending on what happens. We're at that halfway point, but down on the downside of it, right? So we've got 4 more events in 3 weeks, and things can change very rapidly. But anybody that wants to make a run for the championship really needs right now, today, these next 2 rounds, make your case for it, get far into competition as you can. And for guys like Frederick Osbo and Chelsea DeNofa facing each other in the top 16, we are going to see some position switch.
Yeah.
So there are some pretty tough battles in the top 16 that some of these contenders are going to have to get through. Also, you know, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Matt Field on the other side of the bracket.
And we're seeing ideal weather. You know, in Seattle, we saw, you know, some rain, we saw some moisture, and now it's just absolutely ideal. All right, let's ask you. Vote for your favorite Formula Drift driver. Holly Performance wants to know how you're going to do that. Is you're going to go into Formula Drift's YouTube. We are streaming live right now, right in the chat area, right up top. You'll see the yellow button. It says Holly Fan Contest. Go ahead and click that. Vote for your favorite Formula Drift driver, courtesy of Holly Performance. Is the next battle one of those guys in the Royal Purple Top 16? Chris Forsberg, Michael Essa. This should be a fun one to watch. Two very smooth drivers, exciting drivers. They fought for a championship, what was that, 7 years ago? You know, Michael Essa came out on top. And now Chris Forsberg, who we haven't seen compete yet today because he had a bye run on his top 32. So Michael Essa, he actually, you know what? He had a bye run as well because he was intended to go against Alec Robbins. Again, shout out to him and his wife. He sent me a message. He says they're feeling a lot better, so that's great. Here we go. Send in our first battle, the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the official synthetic oil of Formula Drift. Chris Forsberg initiates in that first outer zone. Past that front flip, into that power alley. Here goes Chris Forsberg now into that third outside zone and beginning of the sweeper. Michael Essa, the FCP Euro Liquid Moly Achilles tire BMW. You can see him gaining some ground, getting right next to Chris Forsberg, and now bringing it across the finish line. Pretty straight cut there, Ryan. A nice job by both the guys.
Yeah, and obviously Michael Essa up in those points as well. So big battle here. You can really tell with the fresh coat of paint where these zones are laid out. Forsberg, nice little snap, fully fills the zone. Essa comes off a little bit early, goes tight to try to gain positioning, but falls back. A little bit of adjustment and angle there from Essa as he misses outside zone 2. Here it is one more time. You can see Chris getting that rear bumper right at the edge of outside zone 2. Really hard part of the course. But Essa goes outside zone 2 to gain proximity here, leaving outside zone number 3. The final section into outside zone 4. Essa was able to button it up. Here it is one more time through the power alley. You can really see that separation, and Essa not getting out to outside zone 2 pretty clearly from that angle. And here we go, wrapping around the final section. This is where Essa starts to gain something back, the needle, trying to shift it in his direction as he closes proximity through the finish line.
All right, let's take a look as we switch it up, and Michael Essa will lead. Chris Forsberg will give chase. And a good eye, just so many different angles here that we're utilizing. So, you know, at first take, it's, you know, kind of easily digestible, but then you pointed out Michael Essa missing that second outside zone. Let's see how they tighten it up here. It looks like our Nightshade Toyota Tundra and Toyota Tacoma fixing the course and getting it back up and running. So as Michael Essa will lead, Chris Forsberg will give chase. And they leave the start line. Clean start there from Essa. Let's see how they drop into that first outside zone. Past that first front flip. Now going to that second outside zone. Looks like they alternate positions. Look at that overhead view. Nice shot. Filling both of filling that third outside zone. Tucking in on the smoke signal. Chris Forsberg reeling him in. Massive angle from both the guys. Woo! That was solid right there towards the end. A little nerve-wracking. But man, that smoke signal, you can see those Achilles tires just absolutely making a huge smoke trail.
Well, we knew we'd get a good battle here, and this definitely goes back and forth. This time, Essa in the lead. Nice job on that first outside zone. Forsberg through the smoke line. Essa with angle through inside clip 1, just to the edge of outside zone number 2. Here he goes into 3. Really deep there as Forsberg tucks up on the inside, trying to drive through the smoke line. Here it is coming out of inside clip number 1. And then back into outside zone 2. This is where Forsberg tries to close the gap to outside zone 3. Essa gets on the throttle. Forsberg surges forward. He's on the right line. He's got good angle, and so does Essa through the finish line. Here it is from the drone up above. You really get a good idea of how Essa got into outside zone 2. Forsberg forwent it a little bit, didn't get as tight, or excuse me, as deep. And then as Essa wraps through this final inside clip, he really starts to pour on the angle and the smoke line, but Forsberg keeping the proximity close.
All right, let's take a look. Do we have a verdict here? It looks like the judges Yeah, it looks like they are going to request a BC Racing coilover side-by-side instant replay. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift.
Yeah, both drivers having some high points there. We know how challenging outside zone 2 can be. I think both drivers in the chase really didn't get out as deep as they should have relative to the lead driver. Chris had great proximity towards the latter half of the course and maybe more time in the proximity zone that you'd like to have. But let's take a look at the overall run. Essa on the right, Forsberg on the left. Nice snap there. Let's see how Essa does in the outside zone 2. Pretty good job, Chris as well. Chris tucks up on the inside as he chases. Essa starts to close the door towards the latter part. Chris gets to it earlier. So fans watching at home, was there somebody that had the edge here, or is it too close to call? Could it go one more time?
All right, the judges racking their brain, figuring out who gets the win, who is moving on. Our first battle, the Royal Purple Top 16, Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. And it looks like we have a verdict. Slide him left for Forsberg, right for Michael Essa. One more time from Chris Yule. Ryan Lontaine says Chris Forsberg, and Brian Eggert says Chris Forsberg gets the win. Chris Forsberg gets the win and advances on into the Great 8. Lontaine, I saw you put your headset on immediately, and I think rightfully so. Pretty close call. Did it come down to that second outside zone is kind of what I'm guessing? What overall?
For me, it came down to Essa's 2 mistakes that I saw, one in the lead and one in the chase. In the chase position, he was really close to Chris at initiation, but was not able to match his line through outside zone 2. He was really shallow on angle and line through outside zone 2 in the chase position. Now, Chris missed outside zone 3, didn't go as deep as Essa did in his lead, but when you look at Chris's chase, he mimicked what Essa did better on his chase. Now, Essa's lead, he was low angle going towards outside zone number 2. You could see that he reduced angle going through there and then had to kind of angle the car back up. So lead to lead, I thought Chris did a better job because he didn't make any mistakes like that. And chase to chase, I think Chris did better, even though his proximity wasn't as close early. He gained proximity going into outside zone 2 and maintained it better. And he matched Essa's lead angle and line better.
You guys are looking at not just proximity, but also the duration, from beginning to end, not just surging coming out. It's how long are you in that proximity to the other driver.
Right, so proximity not only means you're close, but you're also mimicking the lead line and angle as well, so that's why.
Here we go, we got Dean Carney, Adam LZ, our next battle, top 16. Whoa! Oh boy!
That was right in front of us.
Oh boy, so Dean Carney initiates, and it looks like it just did not snap back. LZ going to the side of Dean Carney. That is definitely a bummer for both the drivers. Let's take a look at that again here, Ryan. And Adam had nowhere to go.
Exactly. I think this one seems a lot more clear than the contact that we usually get when drivers are at speed somewhere in the middle of the course. This is a situation where it looks like Dean just over-rotated into the first corner, and Adam, as you said, Jared, really had nowhere to go. Let's take a look at it again. Sometimes Dean will throw these really nasty flicks. Big angle here, really overextended. See, he gets on the brakes, and then Adam really doesn't have anywhere to go on that section of the track, so you can't really fault him there. Here's another angle. We'll get a good shot of it. You can see how maxed out he was. He was backwards.
Whoa.
And then right there, Adam's like, I can't go anywhere. So that is going to be, with high degree of certainty, that'll be, now it's official. It is on Dean Carney. So what that will mean is that Dean Carney will be at fault. He will receive an incomplete since the run resulted in a collision and the drivers were not able to finish the run. That also means that Adam LZ, if he needs to fix his car, will not have to use his competition timeout, and Dean Carney will.
It also looked that I think LZ caught a little bit of a break there because that front left corner, when Dean rotated, it caught his door. It didn't hit his suspension. I think that would have caused more damage. So
more strife.
Yeah, less strife for sure. Just more cosmetic, but ideally not the functionality of the machine. All right, our 2020 Tundra Nightshade and our 2021 Tacoma Nightshade. The vehicles here picking up, cleaning up stuff off track. All right, if you haven't received your Royal Purple socks, you can receive them by buying one Royal Purple Max Boost Octane Booster and Stabilizer. Get one free pair of Royal Purple socks by mail courtesy of Royal Purple and available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Again, now through November 30th, redeem at royalpurplepromos.com. Again, pick up your socks, get some Octane Booster. There you go. It's easy as that. You win in more ways than one. And there it is. You can see Dean Carney. What a bummer. Yeah, so as we clean up the track, Lorette Nickel caught up with Chelsea DeNofa.
Here in Texas, you only got a few laps of practice because you were experiencing a few problems.
Straight up and first lap out had some ignition issues, some low frequency stuff. Ours are tuned a little bit of hiccup here and there can really affect how it drives. So we didn't really get a full possible. We called all Thursday and we came into happy with myself. I've only 3 laps of practice, see where I'm at, and we're just going to take the next one.
All right, here is the bracket, and you can see Chelsea DeNofa going against Frederick Osbo in that top right-hand corner. And you have LZ in there. That is not certain just yet. We'll see if Dean Carney, but that is not certain yet if LZ will get that victory. You know, Dean, he has to call his competition timeout. That 5-minute doesn't start until he gets his car back to the pits. And very unfortunate for him as we are, again, this was taking a look back at Chelsea's win in St. Louis. This is round 2 as Forsberg and DeNofa went toe-to-toe.
Good battle. And who's going to come out on top? Who are you pulling for? DeNofa or Forsberg? Let him know. DeNofa initiates into that first outer zone. Big angle. There's the 3-wheel motion. Haven't seen that in quite some time. A plume of smoke coming off Chelsea's vehicle. Big wide swing for Chelsea DeNofa. Chris Forsberg comes back, punts that center front clip, and now in that last outer zone, Chris Forsberg applying the pressure, makes some noise. Woo! I was like nervous about this run, to be honest. Look at Chelsea still drifting. You know what? Make some noise, Formula Drift.
Oh man.
To be honest, I didn't know how that battle was going to unfold.
That might have been the best battle of the weekend.
That might
so
be
far.
the best battle, and could you feel the tension like I could? And I think the fans did as well. Ryan, let's take a look at the replay. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, both drivers get out of the gate very quick. Big
Boom.
initiation
Look
there
at
from DeNofa. 3-wheel motion. Forsberg trying to eye up the line here. DeNofa, massive smoke coming off the car as Forsberg tucks through. Now, the only mistake I think Forsberg makes is he probably should have gone a little bit deeper like Chelsea did, so he doesn't end up hitting this cone front and center with his bumper. But then outside that, as we go back to outside zone 1 again, you'll get a look at it here through the smoke that's being generated where Chris hits that inside clip. Now Forsberg is trying to get back on it, but DeNofa mashing the throttle, ripping through this center section here. And this time Chris really, I think he does a better job than DeNofa did in that section of the course, mirroring the line. But DeNofa was aces through that first inside clip, really mastering that line there that we saw him and his teammate Vaughn Gittin Jr. doing. Incredible job by both drivers, and this is going to be a tough one for the judges. Probably the most aggressive and smoke-filled battle that we've seen all day.
Wow.
And look at that mirroring effect, the transitioning together and then door-to-door through the finish line with sparks.
Well, we could see Dean Carney getting his Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper up on the trailer. This man has worked hard, really hard, from Seattle to previously St. Louis and now here in Texas. Him and his team have definitely been thrashing on that vehicle just to get it right, get it up to snuff. And you know what, he's still going to have a smile on his face. But there you can see Adam LZ, like I said, taking a brunt of it on that door. All right, let's throw it down to Lorette. She's down there in the mix.
Well, guys, there was a lot of damage sustained to Adam's door. Adam, what is the team working on fixing right now?
I'm not really sure right now. I think the car's good. I think they're just checking it over. I hope everything's good.
Okay. Well, it looks like the team is checking the toe and the alignment on the car. Most of the damage was sustained to Adam's door, so a lot of movement. The guys are looking pretty comfortable. The clock is running. We have about 5 minutes and 35 seconds left, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And here it is once again. You see Dean Carney initiate, just bites off way more angle than he can chew and chew back and spit up, and boof, there you go. Adam LZ had nowhere to go. He saw the Dean Carnage roadblock, and he just went right into him. So unfortunate for Dean Carney. Adam LZ looks like checking the door, seeing what's going on. Here's the water. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the action. Who's going to be on track? We'll find out when we return here to round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
The quality of Japanese craftsmanship. Brid.
What is power and control? Power is the sprint. Control is the hurdle. Power is the flame. Control is the perfect stake. Power is turbulence. Control is containment. Power is the ignition. Control is the sensor. NGK and NTK. Power under control.
We're here for the perfectionists, the champions of doing things right. Whether they're in the shop or in the driveway, they trust O'Reilly Auto Parts, because good enough won't cut it here. For over 50 years, we've been helping perfectionists get exactly what they want and exactly what they need without compromise, turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
The Falcon Azenis FK510 tire is engineered for today's high-performance vehicles. Built with added tread rigidity for precise handling and an advanced rubber compound that inspires confidence, rain or shine. Get more out of your sports coupe or sedan with the Azenis FK510.
Ryan, we can see Dean's vehicle on the flatbed. They're going to drop it over here. What's the update as we have the NGK competition timeout?
Initially, it looks like very small damage to Dean Carney's vehicle, so they are going to put hands on the vehicle, which will start the competition timeout. Officially, that'll be his one and only. Now, obviously, he's got quite a hill to climb here with the incomplete going against him and in the favor of Adam LZ. But obviously, you have the competition timeout to use. You want to get back out into competition, try to make the best of it, and that's what his team has decided to do.
Speaking of the NGK competition timeout, in addition to providing spark plugs for domestic and import vehicles, NGK produces spark plugs for motorcycles, power sports, marine, and outdoor power equipment. NGK also offers complementary ignition product lines, including ignition coils, resistor caps, spark plug wires, and high-performance cables. For reliable performance, trust NGK, the ignition specialist. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn how NGK is redefining the category with high ignitability technology through its ruthenium HX spark plugs. NGK. Here's our next battle. You can see Jonathan Nairn bringing out Old Faithful. As he said, he competed in Formula Drift Canada in that vehicle. He's going against Kazuya Taguchi in a very proven S15, that up garage GT radial vehicle. So two very different setups. Let's see how Nairn can handle Kazuya Taguchi, who love to see Taguchi do well. It's he's been chomping at the bit. He's right there. And Nairn, as a Formula Drift rookie, he's been wanting to enter the Formula Drift ranks for quite some time and just putting it together here in 2020 with his Shelby teammate, Tyler Nelson. Kazuya Taguchi will lead. Jonathan Nairn will give chase. Looks like track is clear. We'll be clear to send. And we are seeing our starter.
What's that guy doing back there?
All right. That's that dude's with Matt Field. There we go. Kazuya Taguchi, Jonathan Nairn. Kazuya initiates. Jonathan Nairn might have given Taguchi way too much room. Has taken an odd line here. Let's see how he handles this. Oh wow, look at Taguchi. Looks like he might have dropped the tire because that is a point in overturn. You can definitely DB the tire out there. And shreds that back bumper. I think Jonathan gave himself too much room, and Taguchi just shot out of the hole, out of that first outside zone, then past that front clip. Like to see the overhead view here, especially going into the outside zone 2.
Yeah, coming off a big win against Ken Gucci, continuing the momentum. Notice Nairn does not get out to outside zone 1 or follow Taguchi into outside zone 2. He's really missing the line overall here. Now he does kind of get back in the fight after Taguchi goes wide on outside zone 3. As we take a look again, coming through the power alley, you can see he's kind of straight lining the approach, missing outside zone 3. Now he's doing that to gain proximity, which is a mistake that maybe you can swallow so that you can do that. But obviously, as you mentioned, Jared, the first half of the run, he really didn't play much of a factor. See the line that he's on there coming into outside zone number 1. It's really offline, and then he's not really able to put it together in really critical parts of the course. So in the chase run, Taguchi doesn't really have to do that much other than really decent proximity and relative line to get this win here, because we saw a lot of mistakes from Nairn in the chase position. So that's an opportunity possibly missed.
Very unfortunate for Jonathan Nairn. Taguchi smiling underneath his helmet. He is potentially one step further to grade 8, but we've seen crazier things happen. So he's not going to let him go too far away. As you say, keeping it relatively close. Doesn't need to have any big X factor here. Jonathan Nairn off quite a bit of those clipping zones. So let's see. He put it together there towards the end, put an exclamation point on it, but it's kind of a bit of a choppy sentence, if I may. Here we go. Jonathan Nairn out front, and Taguchi in a wow. Nairn absolutely screaming right now. He might have heard us. He says, all right, I'll show you. Whoa, buddy. Want to take a look at the line in the power alley. Seems like he quickly got through that power alley. I don't know. That was before the finish line. Kazuya Taguchi going off course, and Ryan, Jonathan Nairn might have just been gifted another opportunity.
Yeah, let's play out a couple scenarios here. I mean, really, I don't think the judges are going to give Nairn a 0 in his chase run.
Good point.
So I think,
oh boy, this
is going to be bad for Taguchi, all things considered. Either he gave it away, or if there is a 0 from Nairn in his chase run, it could be an evaluation of the leads. I doubt that. I think Taguchi just made a critical mistake here in an area where he didn't really need to be doing this much in that area. He didn't have to be pushing that hard. He knew that Nairn had made some mistakes. Nairn really rocket shipped out of the front gate and started blowing away from Taguchi, at least initially. And Taguchi's like, oh, I got to catch him. And then he makes a critical mistake in doing that, rather than being a little bit more tempered and kind of playing a much more defensive role in the chase position.
Jonathan's line, like I said, he quickly got through that power alley, that outside zone 2, and then pulled through, and then through that sweeper. I think you're right. Taguchi in his mind's like, I got to get him, and just overcooked it. And that's a 0. That's off course. Like you said, Jonathan didn't have a 0 in his chase run. It just wasn't the prettiest.
I don't think he did, yeah. I mean, I think in the side-by-side, you'll see more apparently. Watch Jonathan in the rear, because I think that's really all we need to focus on.
That's on the left-hand side. Nairn is in the chase on the left-hand side. Do those mistakes equate and qualify as a 0 compared to like Taguchi going off?
Yeah, I mean, he's not following the chase driver goals really at all until right here. But I'm not seeing like a solid, this is a 0 type situation. I think Kazuki just blew this, Taguchi just blew this opportunity.
Got it, Kazuya Taguchi, there it is. So Jonathan Nairn gets the win. What a bummer for Taguchi, but Nairn He caught a very, very lucky break. It was literally just a car length away for Taguchi to get that, I would call it a victory going his way. And look, here's Dean Carney. They got the front bumper off, and you can see almost just over 3 minutes left in the NGK competition timeout. Wondering what's going on there, and maybe we'll find out some more stuff. Definitely don't want to go ask Dean what's cracking right now.
It didn't seem like there was a lot of damage going on there, but maybe as I got into it more.
Do you remember, I don't know if you recall, what I said is right before top 32, the wheel fell off.
Right.
So I'm wondering what happened, what's going on?
Does Pat have any more insight for us? Is he?
I don't know. Does Pat have more insight, Pat? What are you finding out? A-arm damage? All right, so suspension damage is what we're hearing. So here we go, moving on, an All-American battle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. versus Matt Field. We got Corvette versus Mustang. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead. Matt Field giving chase. It's Vaughn Gittin Jr., that Monster Energy Nitto tire.
Matt Field's car looks gnarly in the shade right there.
It does look mean, right?
Yeah, it looks scary.
It looks menacing. All right, well, here we go. Let's see how menacing it is in that rear view mirror. Vaughn Gittin Jr. transitioning in. There goes Matt Field. Past that front clip, taking out that front clip. Now into that third outer zone. Oh, man, look at Vaughn Gittin Jr. Matt Field right there, not shaking. Remember, Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming up back-to-back wins. And Matt Field, woo, that drift cave Corvette really bringing the heat, Ryan.
He was trying to lock in really early, Matt Field that is. You can see Vaughn opening up, clearing the smoke out here. Field really got out aggressively. Notice how close he stays to Vaughn on initiation. I mean, he is right there, bumper to bumper. Vaughn gets into outside zone 1. Field drops back for a second, a little bit less angle there, hits that outside zone. Great job by Vaughn on outside zones 2 and 3, filling it completely. Field right here starts to lock in. Now he's really going to start chasing him down. And this is outside zone 2 and 3. One more time from the other side. This is where Field finally gets an opportunity after staying in relative proximity to get very, very close. And this is a great job because more than, I would say, 3/4 of that bank, he was in really good proximity to Vaughn. This section right here leaves a little bit less to be desired. It's a good job on outside zone 2. He didn't get as deep as Vaughn, same on 3, but the proximity was pretty decent. It wasn't door to door, and the difference we can just see, that's proximity right there. Great job by Matt Field. Vaughn out front as the lead driver. Incredible job as we take a look at the clock from Dean Carney, and I don't think it's going to happen in 35 seconds.
No, the clock is winding down very quickly, and to get to get the wheel on, drop it down. So that would mean Adam LZ would make it into the grade 8, man. So here we go. Let's alternate the order. Matt Field out front, Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the chase position. Let's go. These guys are two very aggressive drivers. Matt Field goes to that first outside zone. Both taking out that front foot. Matt Field using all of the course. The windows to the walls. Look at that. Oh, look at, we got some surging back and forth. It's a dogfight, man. Look at this. Woo! Bring it across the finish line. Well done by Matt Field and Vaughn Gittin Jr. I like Matt's line. He did hit that front clip, but I liked how he hit that second outside zone. And looks like a face of defeat right there for Dean Carney, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's go back to the run at hand. We'll revisit Dean, and let's take a look at what Matt Field does in his lead here.
Yeah.
Great job on that outside zone. Vaughn comes up a little bit short there, same, but it's really hard to do in the chase position. Vaughn tries to lock in. We saw some separation from those two when Vaughn was leading. Some equal separation here as well with Vaughn in the chase position. Gives you an idea of just how hard it is to be a chase driver on this course. But then Vaughn locks in. He has that surge, like you said, Jared, and then really starts closing it down towards the finish line. You see that pocket right there, an opportunity for drivers to gain that proximity where they may have lost it in other areas of the course. Field deep into outside zone 2 and 3, and this is where Vaughn sees it. Sees that opportunity, surges forward, backs off for a second, and now commits 100% to try to reel in Matt Field. And as we take a look, yeah, he is definitely not happy about that situation. And unfortunately, it was caused by a mistake that he made on initiation, but you hate to see it overall to a veteran competitor and a great guy like Dean Carney, who's been really working so hard this season.
I feel for him, man. That's such a bummer. Here we are with the BC Racing Custom Coilover side-by-side instant replay. Ryan, anything stand out to you? I mean, I really liked Matt's lead run. I think he did a good job chasing down Vaughn overall. I mean, I just think the refinement is what the judges are really focusing on.
I smell a one more time, but
Yeah.
I could see it going one direction or the other. But I don't.
Wow.
I don't know. Ryan's looking at me like, oh, you know. No, I can't see from here.
Oh, here we go. Slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr., right for Matt Field. And there's a vote for Vaughn Gittin Jr. from Chris Lantain. Vaughn Gittin Jr. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win. Going to you, Lantain. You're laughing at, you're LOLing over here. What's up?
Oh, we just realized that Vaughn Gittin Jr. is going to now go up against Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the next round. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Naren's debut, remember he did go against him.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, they're doing
this
again.
is another time.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So why did I choose Gittin? I'm sure that's the question on your mind right now.
No, I just wanted to ask what you had for lunch. Barbecue. Okay, go ahead, moving on.
Matt cheated a little too much in the chase position. Outside zone 2, outside zone 3, he was not following Vaughn's line. He did have proximity, but he had to cheat to get it. If you look at Vaughn, he was within proximity, but he also followed Matt's line better in the chase. And on the lead, Matt didn't go quite as deep on 1 and 2, whereas Vaughn was all the way outside on 1 and very deep in outside zone 2 as well. Matt was in the zones, but not as deep in the zones as Vaughn was. So Vaughn had an advantage as he was filling the zones better in the lead. And in the chase, he cheated less to maintain proximity. And that was our reasoning.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
And that was unanimous too.
It was
What's
unanimous.
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. All right, so let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel as actually real quick. Watch Adam LZ here as this is Adam LZ's bye run. He is going to move on into the grade 8. Adam LZ will do battle against Chris LaForce Forsberg in grade 8. We are now officially halfway through our Royal Purple Top 16. As LZ crosses the finish line, I throw it down to Lorette. Easy for me to say. Lorette Nickel, what's up?
Oh, Dean, I'm so sorry. He just had to watch that on the big screen. What happened out there?
Yeah, I think we really need to check over the data. I'm not sure if it was driver mistake or if we didn't take into account the difference in track temp or whatever, because I felt like I'd done exactly the same entry we done all weekend, and it just kept on rotating and rotating and rotating to the point where I knew, okay, we're gone, and I was trying to save it, and obviously Adam was hot on my ass coming in behind me with nowhere to go, so I feel bad for damaging his car, and just sucks we weren't able to get back out and continue on the fight, but we'll put it back together and we'll be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, what were you and the team trying to fix?
Actually done quite a lot of damage. It moved over the frame of fraction, but we weren't too concerned about that. Upper control arm, spindle and shock, and need to really think a little bit of re-engineering how the shock is mounted on the chassis. It's kind of a handicap for us when you're trying to do it quickly. So have a little bit of rethinking to do, talk with the team tonight and see what we can do to keep evolving it.
All right, Dean, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Ryan?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's really interesting the perspective that Dean brings. I mean, if you're beginning drifting at home, and you can see that even he's not clear whether or not what happened there was a driver mistake or something in the engineering of the vehicle, and what they're going to have to go back and do and look at the data to determine whether or not the track temperatures were a problem or if the setup was a problem. It's really, really fascinating, that perspective. Unfortunately, that is part of the game, and it's what these guys prepare for, but he will have a second chance to come back tomorrow and do it all over again.
That's right. Here's the big battle we are anticipating. Chelsea Denofa, Frederick Osbo, real contenders in the championship. And Ryan, like you said, really needs to rise to the occasion here in Texas. We're now on the downside of halfway through the season. Denofa initiates that first outside zone. Now coming to that first front clip. There goes Denofa and Osbo. A little bit of distance between them. Now going to that third outside zone. Look at Osbo jumping way up there. Weird flex, but okay as he continues on. Denofa, massive angle there. Weird line there from Osbo, not Osbo-esque, if I may.
Yeah, it happened right at that POV shot, and so we didn't get a clear look at it, but Osbo obviously jumped forward. We'll obviously get a number of different replays here to take a look at it a little bit more deeply. Big flick by Denofa, massive angle. You see Osbo surge forward, then has to try to get back on the line. Great job on outside zone 2. Here he comes through the smoke line. So it was on the transition there that he comes through the smoke line. Now, I'm hoping that the drone will show us how he ended up in outside zone 3 when he came through on that surge. Obviously very smoky on course. This angle right here is going to show us how he came through the smoke line initially. And right there, it looks like he's starting to get, oh, you know what? He just transitioned way too early.
Like he
missed
got blinded.
outside zone 3. He may have been blinded or the car may have unwound. Watch right here. I think he's okay in the smoke line. And then right here, you see the transition?
Yeah.
He's not able to push out. Luckily for Osbo, he's a skilled enough driver that he's able to get back into the heat with Chelsea Denofa. But that one little mistake is something that the RTR team and Chelsea Denofa can seize on in their chase run.
Yeah, that's definitely showing a weakness here. So Denofa is going to really try to take advantage of that. That's a major disadvantage there for Frederick Osbo. We saw a win at round 1, Denofa winning round 2, and then the other RTR team captain there, Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the doubleheader in Seattle. Oh, an early initiation from Chelsea Denofa. That was really weird. I'm about to look at that, the instant replay. Now coming to the power alley. Look at, oh, and we got contact.
Oh,
wow.
Man, Denofa. Oh.
Denofa goes hard into Osbo, and oh, man.
We are seeing drivers make mistakes when they really don't need to. And at first pass, it looks like Denofa may have bit off a bit more than he needed to. It started with what you saw there, Jared, and pointed out. It looks like he got a real early initiation and then had to kind of finesse his way back into competition to stay with Osbo. Then we get into outside zone number 3, and he's blasting forward with the momentum. Look at the early initiation there. Now he's able to keep angle in the car, but Osbo in the lead position is really flying here. Denofa stays on the line with Osbo. Now he starts to lose some angle, comes forward. He's got a lot of momentum here. He gets on the brakes and makes contact with Osbo. Now let's keep an eye on Osbo's smoke line, because remember, outside zone 3 is that decel area. And Chelsea at this point may be so committed to what he's doing that he can't really slow down enough to avoid Osbo. And that's where we see well, actually it's a collision now because we stopped drifting. So that means somebody's going to have to be put at fault, and somebody's going to have an incomplete.
Let's take a look at that. I want to look at that first initiation as well. Was Osbo late initiating? Because, I was kind of focused on, Osbo initiated, but it was weird. I'd like to see that instant replay of the initiation right here. Look at that.
No, that's
so
just
3, 2, 1. That's
early
good.
Initiation.
Super early
for Denofa.
From Denofa, yeah.
But that last angle, I think, showed us the most detailed explanation of what was happening with Chelsea. You can see he was getting on the brakes. The front end started to chatter around a little bit. He was surging forward with nowhere to go. And Osbo right there, you can see the smoke line was already getting back on throttle, but it was too late. Wow.
With a fairly, mellow, non-dramatic filled 32, 16 is quickly becoming quite dramatic and quite exciting. All right, the Rockstar Supra waits. And yeah, Denofa initiated as early as the 3 cone. You can see the green cones right before that first outside zone initiation. Denofa initiated at the 3 cone. So it goes 3, 2, 1, and then zone. That was crazy.
Yeah, most guys are doing it between number 2 and 1, with most of those guys doing it at 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because they're trying to get as much of a run-up as they can. Denofa, way early. That right where Osbo did it is pretty much about where everybody else is doing it, or a large majority. Now, this angle right here, Jared, I like the most, because watch, you're going to see the front end start to, as he's getting on the brakes, it wants to get out of drift, but it's because he's coming up so fast and he may be playing catch-up there that he really doesn't have enough to slow down before hitting Osbo. So we saw Taguchi make a pretty big mistake, and now we're seeing other top drivers make mistakes in areas where it's a pretty clear advantage after that first run.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting turn of events here. We talked about this being a critical battle in top 16 with 2 championship contenders, and this transpires.
I'm very interested to hear what Ryan has to say about this, but now let's make it official. Who's going
Slide
on?
left for Denofa, right for Osbo, and there goes Osbo with 1, 2, and Osbo gets the win, taking out Chelsea Denofa. Denofa speeding off, exit stage left. I'd love to hear from all the drivers, but right now all we can do is listen to Ryan Lontaine.
Jared, looking at what Chelsea did in his lead, amazing line, amazing angle. The way he was getting through the course was phenomenal. We were up here kind of cheering just for the run that we saw. And then you look at what happened in the chase. He initiated too early based on what Osbo was doing, and he tried to play catch-up the whole time. You could see that his angle was much, much lower than he's typically running. His line was poor, and you could tell that he was trying to catch up to Osbo, and the area that he did catch up, he caught up too much. In that decel zone where Osbo was getting himself slowed down, you could see him pulling the handbrake a little bit in that decel area and then getting back on throttle, and then the collision happened. So Chelsea, I think, miscalculated on his initiation. You can see he was at angle before Osbo was, and he was on a much tighter line through there, and it put him on a strange line. And then also, you can see the angle reducing right there. He wasn't running a lot of angle right before the impact either, and then kind of throws angle at it to slow down, but it was too late. So unfortunately, it's an error on Chelsea's part. Osbo was doing exactly what he was supposed to do in the lead position. So you'd have to say that Chelsea really threw away an incredible lead run because he had such a great line angle and momentum through the course. And then he gets to the chase position, and unfortunately that happened.
Wow, unfortunate for unfortunate for Chelsea Denofa, but Frederick Osbo comes up smelling like roses. Here we go. So 2 drivers currently living in Southern California, Jeff Jones and Odie Bakshis. All right, so we got 2 supercharged LSs under the hoods of Nissans. Jeff Jones will lead. Said he's got a rocket ship, he's going to the moon. Also, dinner is on the line. Here we go. As Jeff Jones leads, initiates in that first outside turn. Jeff Jones past that front clip, and there's Odie Bakshis. Look at Jeff Jones, he is doing exactly as he said. He is, whoa, we got contact from Odie in that chase position. Remember, there is that decel zone, so a lot of these drivers having some difficulty there. Same spot we saw Denofa and Osbo get into it, Ryan.
Yeah, I think Odie got out of the gate a little bit unsettled, and maybe strategically what he needed to do against Jones was not as clear to him, because he pushed very hard from initiation and looks like he's fighting the car to try and find good positioning behind Jones. You can see he's starting to pull angle out of the car. Then he does it again there. Now on this transition, he's going to drop a tire here, surge forward as he gets back on the asphalt and make contact with Jones. Now Jones, being the relentless one that he is, continues to get through the course.
Yeah.
But Odie looks like he made a mistake. Now remember, outside zone 3, for everybody that's watching, is the decel zone. So drivers are allowed to slow down in outside zone 3 and make an adjustment there. And we've seen multiple collisions in that area where the chase drivers are just not adjusting to what the lead driver is doing and is allowed to do. So here's Odie coming through this section. Watch, he's going to drop a tire. He gets back up on the asphalt. He surges forward. Jones is allowed to be braking here. And then as soon as Jones starts picking it back up, that's where we see the contact happen.
Yeah, Odie just lunged forward and just went way too hard into Jeff Jones. Here it is. Look at Jeff Jones deep in that first outside zone. You can see Odie transition. Just doesn't look comfortable. Doesn't look like the Odie we've seen before. Jeff Jones, all the while, you know, he's putting the car in the right places.
Yeah, I always feel like there's a little bit of an advantage to the lead driver on every run, just because they dictate the direction that the run is going to go. And Jeff Jones did a great job there in what he needed to do with those lead driver responsibilities. Odie it looked like he just overcomplicated things a little bit, maybe just didn't get settled in the way that he wanted to. Luckily for him, you know, it just resulted in contact because Jones did not stop. But it does look like somebody is going to be calling competition timeout here, and I imagine that's going to be Odie Bakshis.
Well, Odie, speaking to the judges, they have deemed Odie at fault. So if he does call a competition timeout, he would have to utilize it, meaning that Jeff Jones could put hands on his vehicle without being docked his competition timeout.
Wow, this has been a crazy top 16 so far, man.
Yeah, and again with 32 going pretty clean, pretty sterile. The 16 pretty exciting. Yeah, there's Odie back in his pit. So yeah, I'm assuming he's calling a comp timeout. All right, another driver in the pits is with the Rhett Nickel now.
Thank you so much. I have Frederick Osbo and some hard contact sustained with Chelsea Denofa. From your side, what happened?
Running hard, coming into turn 3 there, trying to stay in that outer zone. Chelsea coming in super hard, too hard, hitting me, knocking me off the track. It wasn't a physically hard hit, but it was enough to mangle the car pretty good, and it's typical of this track. You know, I almost smashed into him in my first run, not seeing anything through the smoke. It's just name of the beast. It's a risky zone coming into that last outer here, and he was too aggressive and Chelsea'd it, I guess. But hopefully we can get this sorted in time. Boys are looking at spares and trying to help, but they keep telling me to try and watch the competition instead. So I'll do my best to do that.
Freddie, thanks.
Thank you.
Jared.
Thank you, Lorette. So Chelsea did. That's a thing, huh? Like, I mean, I've heard of getting turked, but Chelsea did. That's definitely a new one, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It checks out.
Well, I mean, he's right about one thing in particular, and that's that this course, in all of its iterations, has been crazy. At nighttime, running the opposite direction, every single year, this has been a course where crazy things have happened, and drivers are pushing so hard in their vehicles through a course that's very, very challenging and moves around really, really quickly. And we see some of these kind of incidents taking place. But we'll be moving on to the next pair here and find out what's going to happen with Odie and Jeff Jones.
All right, yep, we'll go back to, you can see Odie's vehicle there back in the wings right now. It's all Ryan Turk and Daijiro Yoshihara. Ryan Turk, our current points leader, going against Dai Yoshihara, who took out Dan Burkett. Very smooth driving by Dai Yoshihara. Let's see what's going on and where we're at. Looks like positioning cameras on the cars and getting them set up to send it. The winner of this battle will go against either Jonathan Castro, you can see waiting in the wings, another Toyota, or will it be Taylor Hull? Turk will lead, Dai Yoshihara give a chase. In that first outside zone, Ryan, that was kind of where we've seen a lot of the drivers initiate in that first outside zone, coming to second through the power alley, into that third outside zone, and another driver really trying to get to the side. Oh man, he is bathing in that smoke. Bring it all the way around, man. Give that guy a bar of soap. He is dirty.
Nobody really has been able to kind of knock the consistency of Ryan Turk down. He's been always finding a way to win, even though he hasn't gotten that first place finish. This is a huge opportunity for Daijiro Yoshihara, who's looked phenomenal the past few rounds with some really high marks in general. He gives a little bit too much room to Turk, but Turk is not getting all the way out to outside zone 2. He does better on 3, but you can see the front end almost wanting to wash out there. There's Dai just hitting that inside clip, moving into outside zone 2. Dai comes through the smoke line here, tucks up on the inside. Now he's going to try to find a way to grab some grip here. He falls back a little bit, but here he comes. Look at how quickly he pulls back up to Turk towards the end there. Had he done that a little bit earlier and stayed on it, he may have been able to gain some more proximity, but now we'll switch things up as Daijiro Yoshihara can lay down one of those clean lead runs that we've been seeing through him all weekend.
The good thing about that for Ryan Turk is, yes, it's a clean, good run. The bad thing for Dai Yoshihara is he's predictable, you know what I mean? So Ryan Turk, you know, his spotter, Biddy's probably keeping notes saying, hey, look here, look there, and then also just expect a nice, good, clean, sterile run, and that's what Dai's known for, you know what I mean? All right, well, we're clearing the track, utilizing those 2021 model Nightshade Tacoma and Tundra. Here's Odie Bakshis in his vehicle, waiting for his team to just dial it in. You can see Aaron down there working on it, popping the hood. All right, I don't see a clock down. Oh yeah, down to the left. Don't see how much time is left, but the NGK competition timeout being utilized. Looks like checking the alignment, getting it dialed. All right, was that 4 minutes, 10 seconds? Is that what I'm hearing? All right, so just about 4 minutes as Lorette, thank you very much. There you are, thank you, Lorette. 4 minutes left, just under now, for Odie Bakshis in this NGK Spark Plugs competition timeout. All right, now let's go back to Dai Yoshihara and Ryan Turk. Dai Yoshihara will lead, Ryan Turk giving chase in the second half of this battle. Crazy runs right now, Ryan, in the top 16, man.
Yeah, I expect nothing less.
Dai Yoshihara leading, Ryan Turk giving chase. Initiating that first outside zone. Nice fluid line there from Dai Yoshihara. Like I said, oh, Ryan Turk offline, does not get out to that second outside zone. Does salvage a run. I thought for sure he was going to go off course, just not get the car to slide out to that second outside zone, Ryan. That is a massive mistake by our current points leader, Ryan Turk.
It's a good bit of driving to come back from that kind of mistake and not lose too much ground. But as you pointed out, Jared, it definitely was a mistake. He does a good job getting with Dai early on, but Dai we know is going to be super consistent and smooth here. Look at this beautiful angle. Those front wheels are locked into outside zone 2. Turk comes off early, almost has to reposition the vehicle, goes off course a little bit with that right rear. But luckily where Dai was on the course and where he dropped back in on, he's able to get in the pocket there and maintain close proximity and actually made it look pretty good overall. It could have been a lot worse for him there. He salvaged it overall. Let's take a look at it again from this angle here. Nice flick back around. Good mimicking by those drivers, but this is where Turk comes off outside zone 2, and as he comes through the smoke line, Dai is just getting into outside zone 3, where Turk is able to tuck up and kind of stay right on that left rear bumper of Daijiro Yoshihara. Now, once he's in this position, he can pretty much stay locked in here through the remainder of the run, and Dai is giving him that opportunity because he's drawing a great lead run. Here it is from the overhead. Completely blows outside zone 2.
Wow.
But it's almost like a luck of timing as he comes back on, where Dai was on the course and Turk back in that area where he could have kind of used that, you know, really the outcome of that mistake to kind of lock back in and keep the battle close.
Well, keep in mind, you know, Vaughn Gittin Jr., who's sitting in second, he would love for Ryan Turk to get knocked out. That could shake things up as far as the championship goes, you know. And then you got Osbo. So here is the BC Racing side-by-side instant replay. But, you know, Osbo, who's advanced on, he was sitting in third. So our judges analyzing the BC Racing custom coilover instant replay. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. That was definitely not expected from Ryan Turk. Let's see. And let's see if we got a verdict here from our judges. Oh man, absolute pressure cooker here for Ryan Turk. Slide him left for Ryan Turk, right for Dai Yoshihara. One more time from Chris Yule. One more time. So there it is, and it's unanimous. OMT, Lantain, go ahead and put on your headset. That was a pretty large mistake from Ryan Turk. Did Dai make a similar mistake, or where are you guys at? Up, let's make sure your mic is on.
Can you hear me now?
I believe I can hear you.
Dai hit inside clip number 1 with his left side headlight, basically, in the chase position. And he also had a bobble at outside zone 3 while in the chase position. They both had errors in both positions, and there was really no way to find a clear winner because of the multiple mistakes that were made in both positions by both drivers. So yeah, Ryan did make a mistake there, but Dai also made mistakes in his chase that kind of added up to an equivalent kind of mistake. So we'll see him go again, and hopefully they can clean it up, and we'll have a clearer winner.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Here we go, so we are going back. It looks like Odie did make his, obviously, competition timeout. So Odie and Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones, not to the moon just yet. We'll see if he can take down this serious competitor of Odie Bakshi's, the winner of Odie and Jones going against Frederick Osbo. Remember, we have Hull and Castro. After we'll go back to Turk and Dai. Woof. So here you go. This is a look at the first portion of this battle. Jeff Jones initiated properly. You see Odie kind of taking a shallower line. Looks like he gained some ground here, and then watch this. Odie, wow, doink, gets into the side of Jeff Jones. Texas, man. what's in the water, man. It gets crazy here between all those crazy night battles you've had over the years and now today. Insane.
Yeah, I don't want to dig too much into what was going on with Odie there, but just looking at the attitude of the vehicle, it seemed like Odie was really being aggressive and maybe needed to back off a little bit to get more settled. Let's see what he does here in his lane run.
Odie absolutely loud and proud past that first front flip. Odie knows he needs to throw down, and Jeff Jones knew he had a rocket ship, but right now, look at that. Odie turns it back on. Little decel action, then throws some more angle at it. Look at Jeff winding it up. Bring it all the way across.
I think what we saw there from Odie is kind of an indicator of what happened there in the chase. Clearly he has a lot more grip dialed into the vehicle than Jeff. He was able to pull a gap pretty substantially on major portions of the course, and being too close to him in the chase run may have cost him that, where he could have finessed getting closer to Jeff as the course went on. You can see right here he's doing a great job out front. This looks like the standard Odie that we typically see. Really great initiation into outside zone 2, fills it completely. Beautiful transition into outside zone 3. Here comes Jones surging forward, but look at it. As soon as Odie gets back on throttle, it's a 2, 3, 4 car gap. So Odie's got a lot of grip dialed in that vehicle and was very apparent there on the lead run.
Yeah, so here, love this overhead shot on that front clip. Both of them are. You can see Odie filling all that second outside zone, approaching on the third. Both of them are there. Jeff just dipping his back right, and like you said, Ryan, just pulling away, filling all that fourth outside zone. Now, keep in mind that contact that was made, Jeff did stay in it. He kept on continuing, as he called him, relentless one. Let's see, do we have a verdict? Still waiting as we, oh, there we go. Slide him left for Jones, right for Odie Bakshies. Looks like Chris Ewell says Jeff Jones. Lantain says Jeff Jones gets the win, taking out Odie Bakshies. Ryan, Jeff Jones. Wow, looks like, I don't know who's dinner on, but he talked about that earlier.
Explain yourselves.
Yeah. Ryan Lantain, going over to you. Jeff Jones defeating Odie Bakshies. All right, so Osbo will go against right there, Jeff Jones at Doc Edelbrock 370Z. Ryan?
Yeah, looking at Bakshies in the chase position, he made multiple mistakes running up to that collision. His line was pretty poor after the initiation itself, coming up to inside clip 1, and then he had multiple bobbles where you could see the car losing angle. And as he transitioned going towards outside zone 3, it looked like he was still trying to catch up to Jones. And at that point, Jones was slowing down in the zone, and it looked like Bakshies came in and just came in a little too aggressively and couldn't slow down enough. Jones, on the other hand, in the lead, once he got hit, he maintained angles, got back, stayed on throttle, and kind of got through that without being pushed offline. So it was fortunate for him that he kept going, but Bakshies straightened after the hit, so he ended up with an incomplete.
I don't want to call that an upset, but on paper, just the way Jeff Jones has been driving, the way he's been competing, Odie on paper would have that win. But you know what? Jeff Jones loves playing spoiler, and he did just that. So move on to what was to be our last battle, but we'll go back to Turk and Daijiro Yoshihara. Right now, it is Taylor Hull and Jonathan Castro. Taylor Hull will lead. You can see him in that Comp Cams Yellow Speed Racing Cadillac ATS-V, and he is going against Jonathan Castro. You can see with the Trudel Metaldom Mobile One Oil, Toyota Racing Toyota 86. Taylor Hull will lead. Castro giving chase. Initiating at that number 2 cone goes Taylor Hull. Castro, you can see him making some corrections there, just massaging it right to the side of the Cadillac. Transitioning into that third outside zone. Now he's going to drop a brick on it. Both of them are. Taylor Hull, massive angle. There comes Jonathan Castro. Woo! You almost saw some rubber on rubber contact there, Ryan, coming through that sweeper and across the finish line. Let's take a look at this again here. Taylor Hull initiated at the second, 3-2-1 cone, the 2 cone. Here we go.
Yeah, and Hull has been on one this year. Big angle coming out of outside zone 1. Here comes Castro. You can see Castro a little bit of a tighter line, but not as extreme as we've seen from other guys. We just know that it's really hard in that chase position to get on the exact line between 2 and 3. But here comes Castro diving in there towards the end. Almost pulls some angle out of it, but is able to survive through the finish line. Here's Hull right here with Castro right next to him on initiation. Hull getting out to that outside zone 2 right at the edge. flowing through the track into outside zone 3. There's the decel zone, and then Castro takes the initiative to try to get on the inside, pull away some distance from him, and just right there, I think he got away with it, but it was very, very close to the finish line.
Wow, Taylor. Oh, love that. This is a good battle here. Let's alternate the order. Castro will be out front. And now Hull will chase him down. Waiting for the track to get cleared up, and we'll be good to send, and we are hearing it is clear. Remember, we'll go back to the one more time of Ryan Turk and Daijiro Yoshihara. Clear track, so let's see him. Sending down the pipe, here we go, Castro. Got that two-cone. Castro out front. Whoa, oh boy, Taylor Hull comes in high, has to swing, has to correct. Oh man, oh boy, this is getting hairy right now with Taylor Hull in that chase position. Very interesting. Let's see what we got here. You get to see him get wound up, Ryan. Again, changing those angles. Let's take a look at it from the overhead and all the different perspectives.
Unfortunately, I think he may have incompleted coming out of inside clip number 1. Let's take a look at this again. We'll back it up a little bit. Right there, you can see he opposite drifts, or he has to reinitiate. And I've seen that go an incomplete. Here it is from this angle. Castro coming through. Castro makes a little bit of a weird adjustment in the lead position. I want to take a look at that again. I wonder if the judges are looking at or seeing that as well. He made a weird adjustment coming into inside clip number 1. I don't know how much of an impact that had on Taylor, but it may have had an impact on Taylor. That's where the mistake that Taylor made, which in my mind would have been an incomplete. Let's watch Castro here. See, he kind of unwinds the car.
Yeah, Castro made a weird move there.
So this is going to be one of those ones I think that the judges are really going to look at to see, was there a causal path from Castro to Hull? Looking at Hull independently, I think it is an incomplete, but we have to factor in what the lead driver is doing. And
that was pretty quick, man. Here we go. So Taylor Hull gets the win. Taylor Hull gets the win, Ryan. And I believe that's Ryan Lontaine going to you. Let's make sure your microphone's on. Can you hear me? Yes, there you go.
Yeah, I think, Ryan, you got it right. Looking at Castro coming by inside clip 1, he basically straightened, and Taylor Hull had nowhere to go behind him. So Taylor Hull ended up straightening to avoid contact with Castro, and then had to reinitiate, and then his line was poor going to zone 3 and 4 because of what happened ahead of him with Castro. So we immediately put that on Castro, and as you saw, the vote was in pretty quick. We all agreed unanimously on that, that it was Castro's fault.
Right on. Thank you very much. Let's throw it down to Laurent Nickel, who's with a very elated Jeff Jones.
Is because he's buying dinner for his team tonight, and Odi Bakchis jumped out of his car, came straight over to you. What did he say?
Yeah, you know, we've been friends for a long time, and he just came over and was like, hey man, sorry for the impact, you know, good run, thank you for staying in it and not just, you know, letting off and how some dudes may do. But, you know, I knew he was going to be an animal. I knew he was going to come hard, and I wanted to give him the best run I could, and I even wanted to follow as best as I could, and, you know, gave him a good chase for what I could do. And, but hey, Doc 370's moving on. Thank you guys. Edelbrock, who made the sucker work. The GT Radio tires are killing it. My team, I owe them dinner. They're killing it. All the guys. You know, wife at home, Christina. Hey, we're going to go kill it. We're having some fun. This is my 3rd top 8, man. I'm going to go kill it.
Well, unfortunately, he's also holding his back, so I think he's a little bit hurt from that hit. But Jeff Jones, thank you so much, guys.
He owes his team dinner.
Yeah,
I want to go.
Yeah, right.
I want to hang out with Jeff.
I just want to know. I just want to know where. You know, if it's somewhere nice or what's up. But regardless,
it's a big performance for him. This is a big day for Jeff Jones. Yep. He's made it into the Grade 8. Obviously, he's got a big task in front of him in Frederick Osbo. But you know, it is no small task to take out a driver of the caliber of Odi Bakchis.
This is a one more time battle between Ryan Turk and Daijiro Yoshihara. We saw the mistakes very blatant by Ryan Turk, and then the judges combating that with the mistake of Dai Yoshihara way offline, hitting that front clip with his front left, his brand new Subaru BRZ headlight. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do it again. Run it one more time. as Ryan Turk, that gum-out Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback against the Turn 14 Distribution Falcon tire Subaru BRZ. Ryan Turk rolls into it, initiates good transition. Oh, we got contact. We got contact in that transition. Ryan Turk continues on. Dai Yoshihara looks like he gets disrupted, goes off course. Ryan Turk stays in it with that Toyota Corolla and brings it all the way across the finish line. Ryan, unfortunately for Dai Yoshihara, had to come to a halt.
Well, I'm not saying anything about anything, but remember there's 2 decel zones. Let's just preface that. I'm not doing a Nostradamus thing like I'm know what's going on or whatever, but clearly there's one at initiation and there's one at outside zone 3. So let's watch this contact and just keep an eye on Ryan Turk. Outside zone 1 and outside zone 3 are your decel areas on the course, and they pretty much mirror the zones completely. So what we're going to be looking for here is behavior of Ryan Turk's car, consistency of smoke line, angle, dies on a tighter line, et cetera, et cetera. That gives us a little insight. I think we need to see it a little bit tighter.
Yeah, I think Dai tried to get aggressive from the gate and just jump right to the side of Ryan Turk, but he just got too close for comfort and Turk couldn't transition. So ready, see how close he is? Transition.
Yeah.
Boom.
Turk's wheels are spinning. He's putting up smoke. It's got white wheels, so it'll be pretty apparent. Let's take a look at it from here. It's got big angle. Dai coming up. Oh, man. And just a little one, too.
I mean, you got to think that Corolla hatchback bumper is tiny. You know, I mean, he doesn't have the big overhang that some of the other vehicles have, and that it's really tight to that back tire. So I think Dai was, unfortunately, risked it for the biscuit, but I don't know, that just didn't pay off.
Yeah, we're getting right back to it.
Yep. So Ryan Turk, Odi Bakshis, yeah, as you say, getting right back to it. The winner will be going against Taylor Hull in the Grade 8, as we are currently in the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Looks like making sure bumpers are all good, everything's affixed, and ready to go for it. Here we go. Pay attention. Lights are on. Let's send it to FD Vets. Dai Yoshihara now out front. Ryan Turk in the chase position. Initiating 3, 2, 1. Boom. There we go. Into that first outside zone. Past that front clip. Dai Yoshihara wraps around. No problem this time. Now into that third outer zone. Look at Dai pulling away from Ryan Turk. Some separation there, but I don't think that's going to be enough to offset Dai Yoshihara, the contact, and going off course, Ryan.
It's really going to come down to that contact, and I think at least from what I'm seeing, it looks like it may have been Dai being overly aggressive. If that's the way the judges see it as well, then it's going to be hard for Dai to come back from this. Turk, I think he may be thinking that as well, because we don't see an overly aggressive chase from Ryan Turk here. He gives some room to Daijiro Yoshihara. That at least implies to me that he feels like he doesn't need to attack as much or put himself at risk given what happened in run number 1, but let's find out.
All right, waiting for the judge's verdict. If it comes in pretty quick, we'll know that's pretty cut and dry. Remember, the winner going against Taylor Hull. We have quite a few new faces in Grade 8, Ryan. Here we go. Ryan Turk, Dai Yoshihara. Slide him left for Ryan Turk, right for Dai. And Ryan Turk gets the win. Ryan Turk gets the win. Our points leader, who was threatened by being taken out by Dai Yoshihara, is still in it. But you got 1, 2, and 3 in points are still in competition. Ryan Turk, Von Gittin Jr., Frederick Osbo, our Grade 8 has been shaped up. But people like Adam LZ, Jonathan Nairn, Jeff Jones, even Taylor Hull, these drivers shaking things up. And there is the bracket. Chris Forsberg versus Adam LZ, Jonathan Nairn versus Von Gittin Jr., Frederick Osbo versus Jeff Jones, Ryan Turk versus Lorette Nichols with who he's going against, Taylor Hull.
Thank you so much. Taylor Hull, for the 3rd time ever, moves into the Grade 8. But you were telling me if there's a mistake made out here, there's no place to recover. Tell us about that.
Yeah, with this layout, last year we ran this but reversed, and you could kind of recover if you made a little bobble. This way, if you make one little mistake and get offline just a touch, there's no recovery. I felt like I had a pretty good lead run, And then when I chased Jonathan, it looked like he cracked out of throttle maybe just a little bit at interclip 1, and it messed both of us up a little bit. And but we were able to all finish the run and have a good time. Jonathan's a great guy, great competitor, and always love battling him.
Okay, Taylor Hull is going against Ryan Turk. Thank you so much, Taylor. Guys?
Thank you so much, Lorette. Good luck to you, bro. Taylor, full pull hole. Our Grade 8 has been shaped. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, the Grade 8 is upon us. The Link ECU Grade 8, in fact, the official engine management of Formula Drift. When we come back here at Texas Motor Speedway, Round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. What takes me to my happy place is actually adding a bottle of Royal Purple Max Boost every time I fill up my tank, and literally feeling the difference it makes with my engine. It's like putting on your favorite pair of socks. What a coincidence. Now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy a bottle of Max Boost, Royal Purple is going to send you a pair of Royal Purple designer socks. Personally, this might be one of the best promos ever. Max Boost bumps up that octane number a legit 3 points, and the socks put some heat on your feet. How you doing, right?
About the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Formula Drift is brought to you by BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. And by Falcon Tire. All right, welcome back. If you haven't already, join in the fun. Download Torque Drift for a special challenge event this weekend. Drift with your friends and battle against professional drifters like Dio Shihara, Odi Bakshis, and the RTR crew to earn unique crates, titles, and prizes in Torque Drift. Available on iOS, Android, and in early access on Steam for PC. Download it now and stay sideways. Again, you can see Rad Dan there, Cash, Bullion, FD crates. Download and play it now. Torque Drift. All right, we have our first battle of the Grade 8, the Link Engine Management Grade 8, the official engine management of Formula Drift. Forsberg versus Adam LZ. All right, Adam LZ sustained a little bit of damage there. Formula Drift Pro rookie. We've seen him in Pro 2 competition, and here you go, going against 3-time champ Chris Forsberg. Let's see how he can handle this. I believe this is the furthest that LZ has gone in pro competition.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity here for him. We know that these guys have done battle before.
Yep.
I think this is a different Adam LZ this time around. Remember, that was the very first person that he drew.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, welcome to pro. Here's Chris Forsberg. Yeah, that was back in St. Louis. You're right.
So some time has elapsed between then. We've had 4 rounds since that time. Well, 3 rounds since that battle.
Yeah.
And LZ has certainly matured a little bit, gotten a grasp of what's going on. But I think this track in general is really one of those tracks where as much practice as you get and as used to it as you get, having 2 drivers on the course at the same time, asking them to be inches away from each other, is just one of those variables that's so hard to figure out on this track, and you really have to be perfect.
The track is the equalizer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how many times you've gone around it, you got to go against your competitor. Here we go. Chris Forsberg initiates into that first outside zone. Adam LZ jumps to the side of him. Here we go, past that front flip into that second outside zone. Now coming to that third outside zone, the sweeper. Adam LZ applying some pressure. Look at that. Woo! Chris Forsberg, massive angle there. Adam LZ, you can see him diving in, going a little bit lower, shallower line towards that last outside zone and the finish line, Ryan.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good challenge there put on Chris Forsberg by Adam LZ. Let's take a look at it here in a little bit more detail. Forsberg in that lead position, nice little snap there. Good timing by LZ in the chase. Coming through the smoke line here, Forsberg gets through inside clip 1, a little bit short on outside zone 2. LZ adjusts, dives in on the inside as Chris clears outside zone 3. He's going to start trying to push out. Now this is the inside clip once again. Let's watch how Forsberg gets to outside zone 2. He gets right at the edge there. Like to see him get a little bit deeper, and that allows Adam LZ to get a little bit tighter on outside zone 3. But this is where LZ makes a mistake. He drops down, lowers the angle, and then almost goes completely off course. Here's Forsberg once again. You can see get into that edge of outside zone 2. And then 3, he does a much better job, but LZ was able to stick through him, get through that smoke line, but then he wasn't able to pull it off towards the end as he kind of dropped down about 1 jump on the line and then reduced the angle a little bit. So that gives Chris an opportunity to kind of look at the mistakes that LZ made and try to do better in his chase run, and vice versa as well. We know a couple mistakes that Chris made. Can LZ better those as well?
Yeah, most definitely. These drivers, I mean, they're paying attention. Their spotters are seeing what's out there, what the other drivers, what to expect, and here we go. Adam LZ will lead. Mickey Andre, thanks for watching, homeboy, the Throttle homeboys, heading as well. Here we go. Adam LZ out front. Chris Forsberg in the chase position. Dish to that first outside zone. Massive angle there from Adam LZ. Chris Forsberg making some corrections there to get to the side of LZ, and LZ absolutely pulling away from Forsberg right now. LZ getting deep into that outside zone.
Man.
Wow, did LZ just take down a giant? Adam LZ, the giant killer in that Njuga Racing S15. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, he does not want to get pushed over even by a 3-time champion, and he came out pretty strong there. Looks like there were some forced errors by Chris in the chase position. Didn't get the greatest initiation by LZ. Kind of had to try to find a way to get settled here. Now he's going to unwind a little bit of angle, come off outside zone 2. Here's the angle from LZ coming into outside zone 1, or after outside zone 1. Then LZ gets deep into outside zone 2. Forsberg through the smoke line here. Maybe could have got to that a little bit earlier because he didn't transition at the same time that LZ did, and that forced him to be on a little bit of a lower line playing catch-up now. So this is a big opportunity here for Adam LZ. I want to take a look at his run here to see if anything had an impact on Chris at all, but at least at first pass it looked like Chris just made some mistakes there that were a bit unforced, and it may come back to haunt him here, and a huge opportunity for Adam LZ.
You know, like you said, the initiation,
right there.
also, and the angle, the viewing angle, the POV for right here is very different, very unique. See, look at, I mean, you can see LZ dropping a tire, and Chris isn't as far away as I initially thought, and also Chris's line on that last and final outside zone, you can see he was shallow, similar to Adam was on his run. So both of them having mistakes in both of their runs. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. That's really what it comes down to, right?
I mean, I think, you know, if you wanted to put me on the spot, I'm not asking you to, but if you wanted to put me to,
Ryan,
I think
I'm putting you on the spot.
I think there's somebody that could win and it be justified. I think there's somebody that there's no way they can win, or it could be a one more time. That's my initial thought.
Wow. Really? I mean,
if you dig into that, though.
Really hard pressed. I know what you're saying. All right, so here is the BC Racing side-by-side. You can see, you know, LZ definitely got close and then backed off. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. That's a tough one. And all right. Again, Adam LZ making the jump from Pro 2 to Pro this year. Slide him left for Forsberg, right for LZ. Oh, one more time there. Oh, and look at that, one more time there, going at it again. And oh, look at that. Brian Egger actually saying and siding with Adam LZ. That was 2-1. Lantain going over to you. What made that so close? You know, one more time, and I mean, shoot, LZ drove the pants off that thing. Got to get your mic down. You got to put your microphone in front of your face, and then you can talk.
It's my first day.
Yep.
So mistakes were made by both drivers. LZ in his chase wasn't mimicking exactly what Chris was doing through outside zone number 4. He came in really tight from outside zone 3 to 4 and lost angle, lost the line, got really low on the track there and had to get back up to where Chris was. And then Chris in his chase position had a bit of low angle from outside zone 3 to 4 and also had kind of a low line through that section just as LZ did. And lead to lead, their lines were very similar. They had, you know, the way they got out to outside zone 2, got out to outside zone 3. So when you look at the mistakes that were made and you look at the leads and how their lines were, it looked very similar. So, you know, even Brian said, oh, you know, I almost went one more time. And so it's just a couple of little errors there that need to be cleaned up, and hopefully we'll get a clear winner.
All right, so they'll go one more time. Let's move on to our next battle. Jonathan Nairn and Vaughn Gittin Jr. And that's what Lantain was saying, you know, jokingly. We've known Nairn for quite a while. He even worked on Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s team. We call him Vaughn Gittin Jr. So here we go. As all jokes aside, right now, who's going to step up? Jonathan Nairn in his tried and true Old Faithful S chassis. Vaughn Gittin Jr. in a very proven, obviously according to Seattle, back-to-back wins. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead. Jonathan Nairn giving chase. Vaughn Gittin Jr. massive angle there for Vaughn Gittin Jr. past that front clip. Both of them wrapping around it into that second outside zone. Both simultaneously. Oh, and Nairn gets left into smoke. Oh, it looks like falls out of gear, shuts her down. Vaughn Gittin Jr. continues on. So just as I said, Old Faithful, tried and true, leaves them stranded out there on that big sweeper. Ryan.
Well, good continued progression here from Vaughn Gittin Jr. And obviously Nairn having some problems in the chase position. Looks like he's going to have an incomplete, did not finish the run. You can see Vaughn coming out of outside zone 2 and 3, connecting it very well. Smooth transition from 2 to 3, which has really been a big challenge for a lot of drivers. Big flick initiation, stays on the throttle and gets nasty through inside clip number 1. Beautifully positioned into outside zone 2 and 3. Nairn surges forward. Right there, he starts drawing off the throttle and then goes out of frame. He does not finish the run, so it looks like he's gonna have an incomplete. And let's take a look at it from the sky here. Vaughn completely fills outside zone 1. He's tight on inside clip 1, right out to outside zone 2, and that transition very fluid. Nairn was offline trying to catch up there and then shut it down and did not finish the run.
All right, Vaughn with an obvious major advantage here. All right, Nairn is calling his NGK competition timeout. Do spark plugs time out? They sure do, and timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling and provides the best engine performance, it ensures less repair time and can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about OE-suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. You can read the face right there of Jonathan Nairn. He's giving you a little insight there, and there's Kevin Wells for Kevin's Corner, documenting what's going on, what transpired, what is up. All right, the Shelby Drift team here. Lorette up in the building. We'll see if it's even fixable. Are they gonna, I mean, once they get hands on the car. I don't even know if he's going to try to fix it. Do you think? All right. What do you think? Oh, so yeah, Lorette, can you tell me what you know? What's up?
All right, John, sorry, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, a little ahead of myself, huh? So initiating behind Vaughn, transition and going against through the power alley, transition back, following him, diving in on his door, went to smack third gear and nothing was there. Just it's gone. So only thing we have now is first, second, fourth. So third gear is going out. I think we're gonna go back out and try fourth gear. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck.
Good luck, guys.
Wow. So yeah, no third gear. So you can see right here, everything's working, everything's up to snuff. John's hanging tough, and through that power alley, big angle there from Vaughn Ginn Jr. Goes for third, and she gone. Literally and figuratively, as she meaning Vaughn, she out, and the gear is gone. So Naren says, let's go back out there and give her all she got. But it's just going to be first, second, and fourth. So even though he called the competition timeout, really can't do much. All right. So it looks like we are going over to the other side of the bracket where we see Jeff Jones going against Frederick Osbo. Now, could this become a fairy tale here? Jeff Jones absolutely elated. Third top 8 ever. He's going against one of the best in the biz, Frederick Osbo, the former champ. That Rockstar Energy Toyota Racing Toyota Super GR is on Nitto tires. Jeff Jones leads the GT Radials underneath his Edelbrock Doc 370Z. Initiating Jeff Jones, massive angle there, past that first front clip. Massive separation here, Jeff Jones and Osbo now gets to the side of Jones. Osbo goes off. Jeff Jones continues on the course, and Jeff Jones could have an absolutely storybook tale here in Texas, Ryan.
I think Osbo was really thrown off by Jeff Jones' approach, and he never got reconciled. It ended up in Osbo trying to play catch up, making contact with Jones, and going off course. Look at this. Watch. Jones goes clear over to the center of the track. Osbo tries to adjust, initiates off of outside zone 1. Then he's on the wrong side of Jones almost. Pulls the angle out of the car. Now he's trying to catch up, surges forward. Now Jones can, that's a braking area. That's a decel area. So Osbo looks like he's just coming up too quick there. Here it is again. You can tell Osbo did not look comfortable in the way that Jones was approaching that first point of initiation. Try to make those adjustments. Obviously on this track, you can get away really quickly, which Jones did. Osbo surged forward from outside zone 2, and that's where you saw the contact that turned into a collision.
Two things. Well, I see Lantagne put his headset on, so we'll get to the bottom of that. And is this something, did Jones impede in the line of Osbo, similar to we saw the contact between Field and Osbo? Lantagne, going over to you.
We talked about this before. The lead driver needs to have the right of way in initiation. And we also talked about Osbo taking away certain drivers' right of way. This happened in St. Louis, I believe, as well.
Yeah, with Matt. With Matt. Matt just said, boom, he just went into him.
Exactly. And you can see here that Osbo takes chances, and we've talked to them about this in the past. Osbo likes to get just up enough that he's next to them to have a bit of an advantage on initiation. And in this case, Jones did that little movement to initiation, which he's allowed to do, and it threw Osbo off because he wasn't able to position himself right. He was offline from the get-go. He was offline through outside zone 1 to inside clip 1 to outside zone 2, and he just was trying to keep up at that point, and he was completely off the pace. He was off the timing. Everything was wrong, and coming into outside zone 3, tried to close the gap, closed it too hard.
Yep. Wow, so it's a big mistake there for, again, the former champ, a real contender here, third in points overall, and Jeff Jones is absolutely elated right now. He has a major advantage. He could see his, I believe this is his first ever top 4 in pro competition. We've seen him win in Pro 2, but here in Pro, he's got to be feeling it, man. He's got to be pumped. You could see it. All right, so his team checking the alignment, seeing what's going on here. Was there contact? Is there a comp timeout?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Osbo was at fault. Contact was made, so Jones is allowed to get hands on the vehicle, not utilize his competition timeout. And remember, Ryan, we were taking a look at Osbo earlier, and man, his back wheel was all bent in and all tweaked. So yeah,
I want to just underline the magnitude of what's going on right now, because Osbo is sitting on an incomplete.
Yeah.
Right. Jeff Jones is on the verge of breaking into the Final Four.
I think it's his first time ever in pro.
I think it is. And on the right next down to him, we've got Taylor Hull getting into a grade 8 position, going up against the leader Ryan Turk. And on the other side of the bracket, we still have really yet to fill out any of the Final Four positions. But we've got Forsberg and LZ on the one more time, and Naren and Gittin.
Yep.
So it is getting crazy here in Texas, which I think we expected, but
yeah,
it's nuts.
No, and that's what I love is you kind of have these vets. You have champs, right, and a potential future champ in Turk going against rookie, right, 3-year. It's pretty crazy. So, all right, Lorette Nichols with Kevin Wells. What's up?
Thank you so much, Kevin Wells. We're down here with Jeff Jones. What is the team working on?
They're just checking the camber in tow, because when they went in, Osbo appears to have hit the rear wheel pretty hard, so they're just verifying. But so far, it looks like everything's maybe okay. It's definitely marks, but not knowing what their initial alignment was, it's kind of hard to tell from here.
And Jeff Jones is sitting in his car. He's talking with his teammate. The clock is running, but they had 10 minutes. Jeff Jones, I know that it would be your first Final Four. Man, what are the emotions like right now?
Oh man, I mean, I still got to get there. You know, I gotta put down a good run for him. I can't believe all these dudes keep hitting me. You know, I guess they think I'm really bringing it, so they're bringing it. And man, they need to watch what I'm doing, because they need to stop hitting me. But you know, I'm in here. I'm safe. My back feels better from the Odie hit earlier. Okay. I'm ready to bring it. I'm excited. Oh man, if I can get some top 4 action, if I can get some podium action, woo! Let's do it.
You guys, so much excitement down here. And Kevin, if I can ask you one more question, why do you think there's so much contact happening on this track?
It's hard because once they initiate, they basically start picking up speed going through the center section, and then they have to slow down again for the last turn. So it's timing that correctly, because if you let off at all, you lose your momentum and the lead car runs away. So it's so hard on the chase car to try to keep close.
Okay. Kevin, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Lorette. Thank you, Kevin Wells. And yeah, Jeff, you just feel it from all the way up here in the judging stand in the announcer's booth. Jeff Jones absolutely feeling the flow, making his first ever Final Four if he gets this victory. And basically, he needs to put together a solid chase run here, and we will see. And I hope his spotter's saying, dude, take it cool, calm your nerves, just do what you got to do. Remember, you can see that top left, Forsberg and LZ. That is a one more time battle. We're halfway through the Naren and Von Gittin Jr. battle, with Naren losing 3rd gear, and we have yet to see Turk and Taylor Hull. Here is the second half of Von Gittin Jr. and Jonathan Naren. As he said, he's got 1st, he's got 2nd, but no 3rd gear. So he's going to go ahead and throw it in, see what he can get done. All right, so now Naren will lead, and that's got to be hairy for Von Gittin Jr. because here's a driver who's leading who doesn't have 3rd gear. You're hoping, you're like, all right, dude, go ahead, you do you.
And knowingly understanding that, right?
Right.
So this is one of those, have lessons been learned today, right? We've got a driver that has an incomplete. Vaughn is really good at doing this, actually, though. He really understands closing the gap at the right time when the lead driver has.
But you also know Vaughn for definitely throwing down, ready to rock, the professional fun haver. Now coming into that 3rd outside zone. And this is a good tempered approach, I think. This is smart because right there is when he would have shifted to 3rd. And both these guys shooting off course a little bit there. I don't think that's going to be an incomplete for either driver, but just getting aggressive there towards the end, losing some back bumpers for Von Gittin Jr., but definitely flirting with that incomplete going off course. But Ryan, I think that was a wise approach there for Von Gittin Jr.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. I was pretty certain that he was going to do something like this, which is basically do enough to get the win and not get an inactive chase. And like I said, he's pretty good at this. He's been in this situation a million times before, kept the pressure on enough to not make it a situation where, he's pushing too hard and could make a mistake, force it one more time. And also he doesn't want to get an inactive chase. So he got right in the middle there and did a great job.
James Stephen, thanks for watching all the way from lovely Scotland with James and Jamie. Any shout out? There you go. So again, thanks for watching all the way in Scotland. James Stephen. Slide him right for Vaughn Gittin Jr. Jonathan Nairn gets knocked out. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win and moves on. Who is he going to be going against? Will it be Chris Forsberg or Adam LZ? Remember, we have to go back to that one more time battle. All right, Forsberg and LZ as Vaughn Gittin Jr. wags that back bumper all the way back into the pits. A little windy, a little blustery, but still a nice sunny day here in Texas. Chris Forsberg warming up his tires. Remember, we saw a very close battle. Remember, Holly's got now vote for your favorite Formula Drift car now. Go to the YouTube live stream and you can see the Holly Performance favorite drift car. So right at the top of the chat, you see the yellow rectangle up there. Go ahead and click that and vote for your favorite Formula Drift car, courtesy of Holly and Holly Performance. The Link Engine Management Top 8, Link Engine Management, the official engine management of Formula Drift. Back to where it all began, Chris Forsberg and Adam LZ. LZ twisting the screws on the FD veteran. Adam LZ originally was going to just compete in Pro 2, but then when the doubleheader weekend happened, he's like, all right, well, if I can compete in Pro, I'm gonna be there for Pro 2. Why not just go ahead and enter into Pro competition? Hence why he is here. So Chris Forsberg will lead, Adam LZ will give chase, and just a lot of carnage going down here in Texas. And remember, wash, rinse, repeat for tomorrow, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship going down tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And that is a pun intended because I had the Batman mask on earlier. Here we go, the one more time battle. Forsberg out of the gate. A big gap here from Adam LZ. Adam LZ not part of the equation right now. Right, this isn't the run that we saw from Adam earlier, but now it looks like he gained some ground. Forsberg turned it up, can't even see Adam LZ. Where he is gone. Woo, he almost went to that sign.
Oh man, what could have been from the first battle now is really pointing in the direction of Forsberg. Now, obviously, you don't want to say anything crazy because we've already seen some of these get reversed. But let's take a look. Forsberg gets a great jump. LZ does not. And Forsberg, once he locks up, he is gone. Gets out to outside zone 2. He's not cutting the course. 3, he's nice and deep there. LZ is immediately stuck in the smoke line. And once that happens, we see drivers get on the other side of it. It's almost impossible for them to get out. And he goes off course, giving himself an incomplete.
Yeah, where does it happen, man? That smoke signals, it's just thick, man. So you can see second outside zone, LZ running his own game. Tries to jump up, and right there you see him dip a tire and goes off, almost hits our signs. But yeah, that's gonna be a major disadvantage for Adam LZ. We have our Toyotas over there, our Nightshade 2021 models, the 2021 Tundra and Tacoma Nightshade Special Edition, built off the limited grade, offering the perfect combination of luxury and functionality. The Tacoma has been an off-road icon for more than 25 years and is considered a master of all trades with available features such as crawl control, multi-terrain select, and hill start assist control. Tacoma will give you the confidence to take on even the toughest terrains. There's the Nightshade Tundra 2021 model. Looks like trucks are back in position and we are ready to send them here. Vaughn Gittin Jr. is already in the Final Four. Who's he going against? LZ? Or is he going against Chris Forsberg? LZ comes out of the gate. Let's see what Forsberg and how he competes against LZ. Now past that front clip, LZ into that second outside zone, filling all of it, nice done. Into the third. This is LZ that we saw on that first battle. And this is the Forsberg that we would expect, and there it is. So all things considered, looks like Chris Forsberg will get the win, unfortunately due to Adam LZ and that major mistake on that first run.
What are you talking about? If that happens, it's rigged.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. We planned this, right?
A good lead run here by LZ and a tempered approach by Forsberg, doing enough here. He really starts pouring the pressure on, leaving outside zone number 3, and he's able to get that proximity. LZ had a good chance in that first battle with Chris making some mistakes and LZ performing well, but in the second battle with an incomplete in his first run and no incomplete from Chris in his run here, it's a pretty easy decision overall.
And slide him left for Chris Forsberg, gets the win. Forsberg gets the win, and will move on to go against his Drift Alliance brother, Vaughn Gittin Jr. So a couple of champions going against each other in the Final Four. Now, Ryan, the big one here is Osbo and Jones. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. second in points coming into this round of competition. Vaughn Gittin Jr. had the double header victories in Seattle, and now Frederick Osbo, who was third in points, being challenged by Jeff Jones. Here is the championship history. You can see dating all the way back to 04. Sam Hubinette, 04 and 06. Reese Millen, 05. Tanner Faust, the golden child, 07, 08. Then Forsberg, the first ever People's Champ, you know, with Tanner, Sam, and Reese coming from the rally world and traditional racing. Vaughn Gittin Jr. shakes things up in 10, 2011, Daigo Saito, can't wait to have you back here, man. Michael Essa in 2013, then Forsberg comes back 14 and 16, right there in the middle. Frederick Osbo, the Norwegian Hammer. Speaking of him, can he move on? Can he step up? Really shaken up by the relentless one, Jeff Jones. And he has a huge deficit to make up here if he wants to move on. But he has the clean air. He's out front. And remember, James Dean, 17, 18, and 19, not here to defend his crown. First ever three-peat of a Formula Drift driver in the championship. All right, here we go. Ryan, no pressure, man. Here we go. The Norwegian Hammer, the Frederick Osbo, Rockstar Energy, Toyota Racing, Toyota Supra. Around that first front clip. Now coming to the second outside zone. Let's see how they handle this. Coming into the third outside zone. Massive mistake by Frederick Osbo. Jeff Jones needs to just chill a little bit, and he might get this victory, Ryan. Remember, I think that is the making of a giant killer.
Jeff Jones did what he needed to do there. You know, the incomplete with Frederick Osbo put him at a huge disadvantage. There's obviously pressure on Jones. There's psychological pressure on Jones to get this done and get it done right. Osbo out front, this is what he does best, but obviously he's got a big hill to climb here because he literally needs Jeff Jones to get an incomplete in order to force something like a one more time or a lead-to-lead comparison. And that just does not happen here. Jones doesn't have the greatest chase. He's not door-to-door, but he's playing it smart. He's doing the right thing. He's being strategic to get what I believe, historically speaking, is going to be his first Final Four berth.
Yeah, and he talked about that with Lorette, his first ever Final Four, third ever top 8, and I think it's going to happen. Just unofficially, just looking at, you know, what transpired there. Unfortunately, Osbo getting thrown off right from jump. And let's do it. Slide him left for Osbo or right for Jeff Jones. And here we go. Jeff Jones takes out Frederick Osbo, our winner of round 1. Jones makes his first ever debut into the Final Four here in Texas, round 5 of the FD Championship. Ryan, I cannot wait for Lorette to have some words with Jeff Jones. So here it is coming into round 5 after 4 previous rounds. Ryan Turk, he's coming up next. He's going against Taylor Hull. Vaughn Gittin Jr., he is still in it. Osbo knocked out. JTP out. Denofa out. Odi Bakshi's, he is knocked out. Jeff Jones took him out. Look at that, the giant killer. So Chris Forsberg, speaking of him, he's currently 7th, but he's in the Final Four. Lorette Nickel is with the force now.
I asked you, do you ever get an opportunity to feel comfortable on this track? And finally, you said yes, now you are. What happened to make that happen for you?
Well, in practice, we had like a small issue with the car. We couldn't quite figure it out.
I mean, basically, like, we were getting through the course and it felt good, but I knew just something wasn't really clicking yet. And we just found out that our nitrous is actually not working properly. And so right before my run with Adam, we got it to work. And I think that's kind of what caused it one more time. I was a little shaky because the power was hitting harder. So I had a couple small mistakes, but we went back, left it alone, cleaned up the run, and then we're feeling really good now.
Okay, Chris, thanks.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Good luck to you, Chris Forsberg. You're going against your Drift Alliance brother, Vaughn Gittin Jr. And now, who is going against Jeff Jones in the Final Four? That's right, Jones is in the Final Four. Will it be our points leader, Ryan Turk, or will Taylor Hull make his first ever debut into Formula Drift Pro Final Four? Taylor full pull hole in that Comp Camps Cadillac ATS-V. When we come back, we will see Ryan Turk versus Taylor Hull, our final battle of the Link ECU Top 8. Link ECU, the official engine management of Formula Drift. All right, sorry about that. You know what, psych? No, we're not going anywhere because we got this battle. Ryan Turk, Taylor Hull. As Ryan Turk, you can see that Toyota Corolla, the Taylor Hull. Let's see who's going against Jeff Jones. Got a little overzealous there, got thrown off. As we are still in it. There is Ryan Turk, Taylor Hull on the start line. Turk, familiar territory for him, but Ryan Sage, you were talking about it. You know, Turk has not had a win this year, but still leads the points. Turk initiates in that first outside zone. Past that front clip, Taylor Hull takes out that front clip with his front right tire. Not too aggressively. Oh, and then Taylor Hull dives on the inside. Ryan Turk tries to keep it out. Look at the massive angle there from Turk and Hull crossing the finish line. Tons of smoke coming off their vehicles. Turk wasn't all the way out to that last outside zone, but definitely kept it sideways. Taylor Hull diving in even shallower, though.
Well, Taylor Hull is a completely different driver and program this year, turning over a leaf, looking unbelievable and hard to beat. Ryan Turk leading the points. This could be a big scalp here for Taylor Hull. Hull, as Turk does not get out to outside zone 2, Hull does make a good adjustment, but as he transitions to 3, he misses 3 and takes that tight line. So that's where there's going to be some emphasis from the judges on the mistake. However, by doing so, he was able to gain proximity and keep the duration there. But notice he misses outside zone 3 completely. Now Ryan Turk will be charged with a mistake by not getting out to outside zone 2 completely. And that's an area where both spotters can say, hey, this is where this guy made a mistake. Try to do better there. See, Turk just gets to the edge of outside zone 2. He kind of leaves it a little bit early. 3, he does much better. But notice that Taylor Hull does not get there at all. He's on a much tighter line. Gave himself proximity, but he had to sacrifice a lot.
All right, let's go ahead and alternate the order here. Taylor Hull will lead Ryan Turk in the chase position. All right, we are getting word that we are clear to send. Make sure everybody is good to go. Our final battle of the Link ECU Top 8. The winner going against Jeff Jones. Taylor Hull out front, that Comp Camps Cadillac. Into that first outside zone goes Taylor Hull. Ryan Turk not giving him an inch. Now coming that second outside zone, transitioning into the big sweeper. Taylor Hull checks up a little bit. Good angle from Hull. And across the finish line, Ryan.
Well, Taylor Hull must have listened to us, or at least got some ideas, because I think he did outside zone 2 much better than Ryan Turk. How did Turk fare in the chase position? Was he able to mimic? Was he able to keep proximity? What was the duration? Let's go back and take a look at it. Straight line approach here for Hull. Already Turk getting aggressive in the chase position. He falls back for a second. Hull gets super deep out there, and Turk does not follow him out. So he does not get out to outside zone 2. 3 does a much better job, and by this time he's locked in. He stays, wow, there's some stuff flying off Taylor Hull's car. You see what that was?
No, I think it was his front fender, his front right fender.
Okay. So let's take a look from above here. You can see Turk was very aggressive on initiation, but look at Hull. Gets way out to outside zone 2. Turk is almost in the middle of the course. Now this is where he meets back up with Hull. He does get to outside zone 3. He locks in here, and so we see mistakes from both drivers. Hull's on outside zone 3 was pretty aggressive. He got proximity, and I think Ryan Turk on outside zone 2 was pretty bad as well. It doesn't seem as bad just because of how narrow the course is. We also have to remember that the judges will most likely call a side-by-side, and here it is.
Yep.
So let's take a look at these runs side-by-side if you're judging at home.
All right, Turk leading on the left, Taylor Hull leading on the right. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. Both of them. You can see Taylor Hull diving in shallow on the left. Turk looked like he had some distance, and then he got to the side of him. Definitely threw that sweeper. Are you any crystal ball moments here, Ryan? A little Nostradamus. What do you think?
Nothing super crystal. I have some intuitions, but it's close.
All right, so some people pulling for Taylor Hull out there, some people pulling for Ryan Turk. Again, the target is on Ryan Turk's back, as he is leading the current points championship. Can he take it to the top? Remember, we do have a third place battle because we don't have qualifying. Here we go. Slide him left for Turk, right for Taylor Hull. One more time from Chris Ewell. Going to Ryan Lontaine. He says Ryan Turk, and Brian Eggert says Ryan Turk gets the win. Ryan Turk gets the win and advances on into the Final Four. Round of applause there for Taylor Hull, though. A great effort by Full Pull Hull. A great showing by him. Ryan Turk. Hey, Lontaine, if you could drop on your headset there, would love to get some insight from you. I think Ryan Turk, not the prettiest, but just enough.
Yeah, he seemed to have cheated less to maintain his proximity. The big one was outside zone 2 with Hull in the lead, and then Hull going from zone 2 to 3 in the chase position, where he really dove in the inside and had to cheat to gain that proximity, whereas Ryan Turk matched Hull's line a lot better in the chase position and was able to maintain a pretty good amount of proximity without that cheating, you know, the compromises, let's say.
Yeah.
Cheating's an ugly word. Compromises that were made to gain and maintain that proximity.
All right, thank you so much for your insight. So our Final Four is set. Those are the points at stake. The winner gets 100 points, and you can see so on and so forth. Final Four, Forsberg versus Gittin, Jeff Jones versus Ryan Turk. Wow, unbelievable. Don't go anywhere. We got 3 Drift Alliance members in the Final Four, and Jeff Jones, that boy, look at that grin. He's hyped. He's going to have a great meal, but is it going to be out of a carbon fiber trophy tonight? We'll find out. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the Final Four is here. The Type S Touring Products, the official lighting of Formula Drift Final Four, is coming back. You don't know what to do with your hands? Well, you're going to put them into your steering wheel. Here we go. Send it when we come back.
What takes me to my happy place is actually adding a bottle of Royal Purple Max Boost every time I fill up my tank, and literally feeling the difference it makes with my engine. It's like putting on your favorite pair of socks. What a coincidence. Now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy a bottle of Max Boost, Royal Purple is going to send you a pair of Royal Purple designer socks. Personally, this might be one of the best promos ever. Max Boost bumps up that octane number a legit 3 points, and the socks put some heat on your feet. How you doing, right?
about the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force Aim High. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. And GT Radial, experience the performance.
All right, welcome back here as we are seeing Forsberg and Gittin, Jones, and Turk. And Ryan Turk coming into this round with that points lead, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming in with back-to-back doubleheader wins and second in points, not too far behind. And there are the points at stake: 100 points for first place, 88 for second, 76 for third, 64 for fourth, and you can see so on and so forth, 5th through 8th, 9th through 16th, 17th, and up 16 points. Exciting day here as the Type S Touring, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Final four is here. Again, Drift Alliance been around since '04, and there has never been an all Drift Alliance podium. Chris Forsberg, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Ryan Turk, they're all in DA. The only one that's not in the Final Four, Jeff Jones. He can play spoiler. But right now, one of these gentlemen is guaranteed to go to the finals. The other going to the third place consolation battle. Chris Forsberg warming up his necks and tires. You can see back waiting in the wings, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his Monster Energy Nitto tire, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. He's warming up his Nittos. And Chris Forsberg pulls the line in his NOS energy drink, Nissan 370Z. He's got the VR under the hood. The GTR engine. Bless you, Ryan. Oh, man. What is going to happen? As Vaughn talked about it. Lorette asked him, hey, what do? You have all this momentum. You got back-to-back double. Can he make it 3 in a row, man?
And has that ever happened? Yes, it's to the best of my knowledge, it's happened one time in FD history, and it was year 1.
Okay. Sam LeHubenet,
yep. Reese.
Yep. Well, hasn't been done in numerous years. We'll have to pull that up. Statisticians here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, or it's going to be really interesting to see how the points shake out tonight, because obviously some of the top guys, except for the top guy, went out. And there's going to be some separation between first and second place no matter what, because Vaughn has done so well the past few rounds. It's a good opportunity for Chris to make up some points, being that he's in the top 10.
Well,
he's got to get through this guy first.
Here we go. This guy, meaning, oh, we have a restart? Looks like we might have a restart. All right, they're going to bring him back to, yep, looks like Forsberg knocked over a cone, so 1 strike. Forsberg just knocking over a cone. We will rebuild. Never forget. Never forget. Oh man, look at that. Soap on the ropa. Quickly fixing the cone. We have the technology. All right. So Forsberg knocking over cone, 3 strikes and you're out. 1 strike counted against him. Man, look at that camber on Vaughn's front wheels. This should be a good one, man. Should be a really exciting run here. Forsberg leading, giving chase. Here we go. Forsberg into that first outside zone. Transitioning past that front clip into the second outside zone through that power alley.
Forsberg pulling away, and Von Git Jr. lunges forward, now to the side of him, into that sweeper. Forsberg, and Git goes in the side of Forsberg, staying in it.
Was that before the finish line?
That was across the finish line. Man, that is a nasty hit. Look at that, holy cow. Dented in the side of that carbon fiber. Woo! Man, Forsberg gets hit so much.
Well, big and nasty snap here by Chris Forsberg in that first outside zone. Vaughn washes out a little bit in the smoke cloud, and Forsberg gets a gap on him. I want to see how deep into outside zone 2 Forsberg went, or if he was able to get through that zone faster by being on a tighter line. But once Vaughn locks in, he is super tight there, and it was about 15 feet, maybe 20 feet before the finish line that Vaughn made contact with Chris as they went through. Here's Forsberg on outside zone 2. Yeah, he gets right to the edge there, maybe a tire over, so pretty good job there as Vaughn tries to make up ground. He locks in pretty early, and he's super close right now, and he starts to reel him in. If you get to around this last turn, Forsberg angles up a little bit more, and Vaughn goes right into the door. Here it is from the overhead. Vaughn washes out a little bit there. He has to come off that line. He drops the tire right before outside zone 3. Tightens up here. Forsberg on the throttle, and that's where the contact is made. It might be a no harm, no foul situation there, even though we know that taking a look at the decel map, remember outside zone 1 and 3 are the only areas on the course where there should be some kind of deceleration expected by the lead driver for the chase.
All right, looks like they're over in the hot pit area. They're taking a look at that door, seeing what's going on. And I believe they're able to get hands on the car because of the contact. Looked like Vaughn hit him from the side. So, what are we deeming here? Getting word from Pat. Anybody at fault, or what's the scenario? Okay. So Vaughn is at fault. So Forsberg can put hands on the vehicle just to make sure it's all good. You saw Forsberg had a little bit deeper angle, and then right towards that, like you said, Ryan, right towards the finish line, you saw Vaughn just go ahead and just punt him right in the door, but did not affect the vehicles.
I was looking at Forsberg's smoke line to see if he had lifted because he was getting close to the edge of the course. It didn't look like he did. It looks like he kind of angled up towards the end. I think that's why the judges gave the fault to Vaughn. But like I said, we should clarify, I think it's going to be a no harm, no foul situation. It's just going to be about repairing the vehicle damage because both drivers came across the finish line. That's where Vaughn got a little bit washed out. You can see how on the center of the course that he was. Now keep an eye on Chris's smoke line all the way through from this angle here. You really, if you focus on the smoke line, you'll see anytime a driver lifts, the smoke line will change, and it seems pretty consistent from Chris there. He has he's allowed to angle up and get angled through the finish line, and that's what the judges actually want to see. But Vaughn was just coming up a little bit tight there, and this will be used for Chris, so he doesn't have to use a competition timeout. But it'll be basically just part of the judging overall situation that the team or the judges will be looking at.
Yeah, it looks like taking a look, they're gonna check alignment there. Yep, looks like, and we will move on to the other side of the Final Four bracket, and there he is, Jeff Jones, making his Final Four debut. Could he play spoiler? I mean, you know, Odie went against Osbo, took him out. Earlier, Jones went against Farouk, so that was his path. Farouk, then against Odie, then against Osbo, and here he is going against Ryan Turk, the current points leader. The way he's driving, man.
You cannot have a tougher, or it's hard to have a tougher pathway to this point.
Yeah, I mean, first in points, I mean, Farouk, no slouch, obviously, and he had a rocket, but yeah, I mean, Odie, real contender. Osbo won round 1, third in points. Ryan Turk, now our current points leader. So if he wins this battle, he just wins the championship. We're just going to give him all that. No, I'm joking, obviously. So Ryan Turk will lead. Jeff Jones will give chase. You can see Chris Forsberg pulling up to the line. Looks like he's rip-roaring, ready to go. Ryan Turk, the gum out, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla. Into that first outside zone. Past that front clip, into the second outside zone. Jeff Jones taking a little bit of angle at it. Compromising, taking angle out to get that vehicle close in proximity. You can see the departure here of horsepower and the angle there from Jeff Jones going off course as he crosses the finish line. So Ryan looking a little more apparent here
Ryan Turk maybe got a little more horsepower than Jeff Jones.
He's made it this far. Let's see how far he can go. Turk, really hard to beat these days, does a great job in getting into that outside zone 3. 2, he was pretty deep as well. Here it is from inside clip 1. You can see Turk gets right out there, fills it. Jones coming through the smoke line, trying to gain some proximity here. A little bit of a tighter line, not being able to fill outside zone 3 completely. And then 4, he has to give up a little bit of proximity. Excuse me, a little bit of a line and angle to gain proximity. So we saw what Jones did in his chase. We saw what Ryan did in his lead. Let's switch it up and figure out who's going to the finals.
Yeah, the winner here going to the finals, guaranteed a carbon fiber trophy. The loser going for the consolation battle in 3rd place. Jeff Jones will lead in that Doc Edelbrock Nissan 370Z. His wife cheering him on. Don't know if she's in the building here. Got their loyal pups. Again, I know Jeff Jones been working hard. Him and the Edelbrock team working. He says, nope, not going to slip belts anymore. Edelbrock helping him out. CPR Racing Engines. You can see clutch wheels. Jeff Jones will lead, going against Ryan Turk. And that gum out, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Mobil 1 oil running through the veins. Here we go. Send it, fellas. Jeff Jones out front. Oh, wow, look at Ryan Turk jumping right to the side of him. Woo-wee. Jeff Jones in that second outside zone. Look at Ryan Turk. He is not giving him an inch at all. Gets up to the side of the 370Z, lunging forward. Jeff Jones, great angle, but cannot shake Ryan Turk. Live free or die, New Hampshire's own.
Well, Ryan Turk has found a way to win in pretty much every event this year. He hasn't found a way to win the last battle of the night, however, and that's one of the reasons why he's on top right now in the championship chase. He's one battle closer to getting another shot at doing it again. He follows Jeff Jones like a moving clipping point. Jones was shallow on 2, made it out to 3, but Ryan adjusted and he was able to keep the pressure on. He wants to make it completely disambiguous for the judges in this battle here, and he does a great job on most aspects of the chase driver's responsibilities. When Jones makes a mistake, he capitalizes on it. When Jones makes a mistake on line, he still follows him through the finish line with aggression, and that's a great job of driving by Ryan Turk. Papadakis Racing has got to be happy here in this situation, and we will see whether or not he's going to be moving on into the finals.
All right, so as we wait for the verdict between these, here we go. Slide him left for Jones, right for Ryan Turk. And there you go. Chris Yule says Ryan Turk, as does Ryan Lontaine. And finally, Brian Egger. Ryan Turk gets the win. He's going to the finals. Ryan, you talked about it. Just not going all the way, not the full pull, getting that overall win. Can he do it here in Texas? And it looks like we are going back.
Still has another shot, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you talking about Jeff Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw Forsberg and Gittin. We already saw one half of that battle, Ryan. One half of the Forsberg Gittin. You can see the team there. Absolutely elated. Thumbs up all around for Jones and Ryan Turk. I always just think about perspective. Like, I've never been down there in the pits. Neither have you, right? Like, when events are going on. It just seems there's going to be a lot of tension down there. There's some camaraderie. There's maybe some bitterness. Like, you get a full range of emotions down in those hot pits.
100%. I mean, I'm so grateful to our production crew and to Lorette that give us those insights.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen so many crazy and amazing moments down there. You know, from Taylor Hole getting emotional last round to the drivers going back and forth on things that happen on track, and of course those ever wild competition timeouts.
Christoph Blus just running off the jack stands. Remember in Atlanta when he just drove off the jack stands?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was a great one.
Never forget that.
Yep, never forget. Christoph Blus, shout out, homeboy, the Latvian lover.
So Vaughn right here, I think he's really going to have to pull out all the stops. I have to imagine that he's going to be at a slight disadvantage because of the washout. Not so much because of the contact, though that is a factor, but I think from inside clip 1 to outside zone 3,
here we go.
He lost ground on Chris. He's got to make up here.
Here we go. Von Gittin Jr., Chris Forsberg. Chris says he feels more confident than ever in this vehicle. Von Gittin Jr. past that first front clip in that second outside zone through the power alley. Chris lets him by, and there goes Chris Forsberg into the side of Von Gittin Jr. Look at this, tit for tat. Woo! Look at this, all Drift Alliance battle. Oh, doctor, look at this. An all Drift Alliance battle. That was sick. Oh, man, I feel like Chris is like, all right, dude, I'm tired of people hitting me. And he just took a swing, and there you go. That was a love tap. These two gentlemen, veterans of the sport, 4 championships between them. Ryan, let's take a look at it again.
I knew it was going to be close here because look how close Chris stays to Vaughn on outside zone 2. Comes through the smoke line and gets right up there in outside zone 3. Little love tap there. Vaughn stays in it. Here it is again. See, right here, Chris is already setting himself up perfectly to stay within proximity on outside zone 2. I'm not sure I've actually seen somebody do it like that today just yet. And that's when he could have got really close to making a really big mistake, but he pulled it off, and then he was able to back off for a second, then get right back in the pocket and keep the pressure on Von Gittin Jr. Getting out, following him out to 2 like that, keeping that proximity, that is a great bit of driving there. You can see that little love tap that really didn't result in much other than Chris having to fall back for a second, but then he was quickly able to get back on the throttle and stay very close to Von Gittin Jr.
That was an exciting run. Again, 2 OGs from 04. There's only a handful of drivers that have been around since day 1. These are 2 of them. These guys coming from the East Coast, coming from Maryland, coming from Pennsylvania. Von Gittin Jr. just making the move to North Carolina just last month. Chris Forsberg. Let's take a look at the BC Racing side-by-side instant replay. Go for gold. Who's going for gold? BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift.
See Forsberg out front. I think you'll see Vaughn washes out right there, so he's not really playing much of a factor in the chase until we get back into this section of the course. Chris stays with Vaughn through outside zones 2 and 3 really well. We don't see Vaughn get super close on outside zone 4 till the end, though he did have good relative proximity. But Chris, in terms of his chase run, looked like he was sticking to Vaughn for a good portion of the course. So it's not just about proximity at any given moment, it's about the duration as well.
I like the way Chris executed that transition. He did it right in front of him through the smoke, being blinded. Here we go, slide him right for Von Gittin Jr., left for Chris Forsberg, and there you go. You can see Ryan Lantain saying Forsberg, and Chris Forsberg gets the win, 2-1. Forsberg gets the win and moves on into the finals. Ryan, I'm going to throw it over to Ryan Lantain. You know, everybody makes fun of me because I always say Chris Forsberg gets the win, but that transition to me, I think that was the real deal there through the smoke. Lantain, what do you say?
Yeah, you're right, Jared. The level of difficulty of what Chris did in a chase position is what really pushed it above for, I think, Brian and I both. The proximity that he had from initiation all the way through to the small hit that he gave Vaughn there at outside zone 3 was just incredible. The transition timing, the mimic that he did in the chase position was phenomenal. He didn't have to cheat any of the line, angle, or anything like that through the course to maintain that proximity. So he really didn't make any compromises in that sense, and he was able to put a really close, aggressive run together that really put it above and beyond for us.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it probably might have been unanimous if I think Forsberg didn't need to hit Von Gittin Jr., but I think that was just a statement. I think that was just a statement saying, like, look, I'm tired of being pushed around, bonk. Do you agree or what?
I never like to put myself in their heads in that way and say that it was purposeful or if it was actually just I'm trying to get in as close as I can and I braked just maybe a millisecond too late, ended up making a little bit of contact there. But I love that they both got hit in their lead runs by the chase car and they both stayed on throttle, they didn't lift, and they completed the run.
It was a really exciting run. So our finals are set, and of course we have our 3rd place battle. Is it going to be an all Drift Alliance 1, 2, and 3? Well, it's guaranteed 1 and 2. Can Von Gittin Jr. take down Jeff Jones, or is Jeff Jones going to get his first ever Formula Drift Pro Trophy? Let's take a look at yesterday's Pro 2 action. This is Jonathan Hurst in that Cash Racing G37. Just a dominant performance from him. Really phenomenal driving. Really like to see him and his teammate Houman Rahimi, or they teamed up, I should say, this year. They've done a really tremendous job. And again, from Paducah, Kentucky, just a phenomenal driver. Really like what we saw yesterday in Pro 2. I'm really looking forward to Irwindale.
Yeah, I think the Pro 2 class this year has been the best that we've seen in the Pro 2 history, and it's really been in a wide array of different conditions and different track layouts. And we're starting to see a certain amount of, I think, coalescing around a couple drivers that are going to be fighting for the championship. You've got Mata, you got Hurst, you got Love, you got Brutski, and I'd be really excited to see a good knockdown, drag out battle come Irwindale.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys, they've dreamt of driving and drifting at Irwindale, and here they are, in very unique times, having the ability to drive. But you saw Blake Olson grab second, and then Derek Madison in third. So just a lot of emotions for those guys. And if you haven't already, please go answer the U.S. Air Force Aim High Trivia. What type of aircraft was used to first break the sound barrier? You're going to find this Aim High Trivia question in the YouTube description. Click the link and answer. Which one? Bell YZF-R1, Bell XQ, the Bell X1, or is it the Bell SR-71 Blackbird? So go ahead and go into the description in the YouTube link. We'll be back, and when we come back, third place battle, less than 7 minutes away. We will be thrown into Jeff Jones and Vaughn Gittin Jr. Vaughn Gittin Jr., well, his victory train comes to a stop here in Texas, but he still could be on the podium in third place. Jeff Jones is going to try when we come back. Third place battle, and finally, the finals. Chris Forsberg versus Ryan Turk are in the finals here at round 5.
What are you working on now? Working on getting his stomach bigger. Been doing that a lot lately.
I'm gonna go make a PB&J, make sure my belly's got a snack in it, and be ready for top 32.
Oh, that's a good idea. On top of. I'll ask Steph if I can toss some weights in there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you get an interview with him?
With who?
Talk. Gonna talk back to you. What are you talking about? What are you gonna be for Halloween? What have you been? What's your favorite costume? I actually haven't done that much costume, but one of the best one I did, I dressed like a girl. It's on my Instagram if you want to check. It's not my fault we found oil. We were just smart, So they can come visit anytime.
Anyone can drill a hole.
Yeah.
Hey, let's have the minigun.
Let's have the minigun. I'm telling you.
What was your first car?
Acura Integra. First car was a 96 four-door automatic green Civic LX, and I told my mom that I didn't want a four-door, I didn't want an automatic, and I hated green.
So you're the drone guy.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on drift?
It's so gnarly. It's so sick. It's so much fun actually working.
Just some real shooters out here. Mean eyes. You can't even see my face. Mean eyes.
Hold on. 15 would be number one.
Yep.
16 would be
No,
what?
well, you've dragged what? 50,
14.
So 14 is number one.
Is number one on the standings.
Yep.
No, I'm 14 on the thing.
Oh, I don't know how that works.
I got 14.
Maybe it's in reverse.
Above my pay scale, everything that happens here. I'm just along for the ride.
Dude, I just right into the marbles,
Yeah,
dude.
you did that big boy clutch kick.
I've been doing it.
Run a little deepy.
I did go a little deep.
Little deep ski.
I was a little deep.
Deep-a-roni.
As soon as I entered, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's gonna happen.
This is gonna be.
I was a little Jimmy or something. It just grabbed me immediately and smashed me. So.
Is there the damage?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead, yell. Jimmy! 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 Turn it down 1 minute! Turn it down 1 minute!
What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Turk, driver of the Gum Out, Nitto Tire, Mobile One Toyota Racing Corolla hatchback. My TV show would just probably be about me, friends, family, and just horsing around with motorsport stuff and coming up with just fun ideas to push each other into doing dumb stuff just to see what happens.
That's a heavy question. Death row. Death row last meal. Something with chicken probably. All right, made from my wife, Shannon. She makes a great chicken piccata. And arancini ball from this place outside of Boston called Spinelli's. My best pickup line. Oh my God, been a long time. I don't even have one anymore. I don't even remember what a pickup line is. Can I touch your?
What's your profanity?
No, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. I got nothing. I got nothing. Besides myself. Shoot, my favorite FD driver, like from the history of FD or like currently competing in FD? Damn, that's a tough one. So I really loved when Miki came over in the FD, and also way back in like 2007, I think it was 2007 when Hariguchi came over and drove a couple vehicles. I thought that was really dope. If I had to pick one, I don't shoot, man. I'd say in 07 when Hariguchi came over, because that was like the first time I ever got to see one of the Japanese guys really shred on track in person and like in a competition that I was also competing in. Something that the fans don't know about me is that I do like a lot of anime, I guess. Spend a day with a fan. It depends. I guess if I could do something motorsport related, 100% do that. Like bring them to a local event, put them to work, maybe change some tires, something like that. Put some gas in the car, you know.
You are my own personal.
And then hopefully hit up some sort of racetrack to go do some drifting. That would be the ideal day for me, for sure. And then, yeah, obviously get a workout in there somewhere.
Take this up a notch.
And there it is, some of the fun stuff you can find at formuladrift.com, formuladrift.com, as we allot 7 minutes for the drivers to get their vehicles ready for the third place battle. But I believe that Vaughn Gittin Jr. might have some more issues than just putting on some tires and some fuel in his vehicle. So he might be calling a competition timeout. And Jeff Jones, we're understanding, I believe his vehicle, Jeff Jones is ready to shred. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. in that third place battle against Jeff Jones. Jeff would love to play spoiler as he already has. I mean, again, he took out Odie, shaking things up, took out Osbo, and then unfortunately lost to Ryan Turk, but Ryan Turk continues his success. He leads the pack. You can see Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his team. Looks like we got a camera over there, and don't know exactly what's going on here. Looks like they're just aligning it. It's good to go. Yeah, it's just standard stuff. So we'll get that hood back on again. 7-minute allotment. Get the car running, and putting the bonnet back on, and we'll be good to go. Make sure you put those hood pins in, fellas. Jason, ED, the whole gang. There you go. Milstein. Got Rob up there, and Davey Crockett joins us. Thanks, Ray. Jumps up front. There we go. Let's send it. Ryan, here we go. Third place battle.
Strong.
Real strong. Strong to real strong. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Jeff Jones. And let's take a look at the Final Four highlights. Just going in and forging this. This was Chris Forsberg and Vaughn Gittin Jr. We saw that, and right here towards the end, you see Vaughn Gittin Jr. get into the side. Good chase job there by Vaughn, lacking the angle, and just goes for the contact. Was across the finish line. He was deemed at fault. Chris got to work on it. Here was Ryan Turk and Jeff Jones. You can just see the departure of horsepower as Ryan Turk places the car in all the right places, and then you can see Jeff Jones coming in just a bit shallow, taking a shallower line through that big sweeper. That's what created our finals here and our third place battle. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. headed up to the burnout box. He's gonna burn the stickers off those Nitto tires out back.
I love those highlights. You know what I'd love better?
What's that?
If we could do one battle without Cup cars driving around making noise for fans.
That would be
great.
ideal. That'd be
That'd
really
be
cool.
really cool if that could happen.
That would be ideal. That would be ideal. I know the dialogue is coming in through social media about the NASCARs going around the track, and we'll just save it for later. Just how about that? So we appreciate the fans for joining us both online and in the building, as the fans are high above over there in turn 1. So thank you so much. Look at all those fans over there. Social distancing. How we doing over there? Put your hands up in the air if you can even hear me. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for joining us. Got some signs, got the hardcore fans. Beautiful day. It's been cold out here, so I see some people in t-shirts, flip-flops, tank tops, shorts. So thanks for joining us out here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Championship. Guess what? We're back here again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Round 6, doubleheader weekend. The burnout box getting used and abused. Vaughn Gittin Jr. already to the line. Jeff Jones would love to get his first ever Formula Drift Pro Trophy ride. We've seen him win at Pro 2, and here he is in his first ever Final Four.
This is the closest he has come. Now, can he deliver? The relentless one, the man with the most infectious smile in the series, Jeff Jones.
Right.
Huge opportunity here. Can he do it against a guy that has arguably had the most momentum in the series the past 2 rounds, and that is Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Proven performance. We know he can do it. Here we go. Let's send it. Look at even his crew guy in the back throwing up the shaka. Here we go. Send it! Vaughn Gittin Jr., Jeff Jones for 3rd place. Vaughn Gittin Jr. throwing it in that monster outside performance Mustang RTR. Past that front clip. Let's see how they handle that second outside zone through the power alley. Coming down to that 3rd outside zone, that big sweeper. Jeff looks like he's keeping his composure, not getting too aggressive. Knows that he can. Oh, look at that. Great proximity. That was master class. Well done by Jeff Jones. And only a good chase run can be created by a good lead run. Good execution by Vaughn, but I'm really impressed by the composure of Jones.
Me too, and there was 2 things I was thinking about before this battle started is, number 1, does Jeff Jones have enough car? And number 2, don't overcook it.
Right.
Don't put yourself in a compromising position where you
take yourself
incomplete
out
on the first part of the battle and it's all over. It looks like both of those things kind of held up. It looks like he does have enough car to hang with Vaughn, and he was really composed, right? Was he door to door the whole time? No, but he did as good as you could do in that position. Vaughn, in the meanwhile, I think we'll be grabbing some replays here. He had a pretty solid lead. We know that he's capable of having those really great leads. And looks like Jeff Jones is, he's calling
calling a comp. He is calling a competition timeout. So
let's take a look.
Here's the replay you're looking for, Ryan.
Yeah, so big snap by Vaughn Gittin Jr., full throttle here. You see a little bit less angle from Jones. That right there is probably the biggest knock on the run for him so far. Now, as soon as he gets into outside zone number 4, and prior to that, he made a good move to position himself in the right area to gain some distance between him and Vaughn Gittin Jr. It's right here where he struggles a little bit to keep pace with Vaughn and get out to outside zone 2. 3, he did a much better job. Vaughn actually went a little bit deep there, and you can see Vaughn was breaking out of outside zone 3, which could have been, an issue if Jones was in much greater proximity. But overall, well composed from Jeff Jones. A pretty good lead run by Vaughn Gittin Jr. overall, giving himself a good opportunity to chase down and try to get that 3rd place trophy, and that'd be 3 podiums for him in a row.
Yep.
But Jones, he's got his work cut out for him in the lead. He's got to take a look at these replays and look at what mistakes, if any, that Vaughn made and try to come back with a similar or better lead run.
Yeah, some exciting runs there. You can see Jeff Jones. Where are his guys at? We see Jeff there, and here comes the crew. I know they worked hard, and yeah, it looks like competition timeout. The clock is ticking, and 5 minutes, and ready, set, and go. There we go. All right, come on, Cletus. All right, clock starts now as they get hands on the car. Changing out the front tires. I haven't seen that in quite some time, or checking out suspension. I don't know exactly what's going on, but man, they need a jack with a shorter stroke there. So thank you for the update. Yeah, we're hearing that he's having a transmission problem. He's having a problem with the shifter. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out what happens as Jeff Jones
able to run? When we come back, we'll find out. Third place battle, the second half, and of course the finals. Ryan Turk won in New Jersey last year, and it's been 2 years since Forsberg got a win in Orlando in 2018. Who's going to come out on top when we return here to Texas Motor Speedway, round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship?
Energy, human horsepower.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you spend $45 on Royal Purple products, like I just did for my oil change, Royal Purple will send you $10 back. Here's how easy it is. Head to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up any combination of Royal Purple products that get you to $45. Also good at O'Reilly.com. Make sure you take your receipt, snap a photo of it, then go to RoyalPurplePromos.com and simply upload your receipt image. It's so easy. Then all you have to do is go to the mailbox and find your $10 rebate check.
Welcome back, and we are seeing Jeff Jones on the line, not seeing where, there he is. There comes Vaughn Gittin Jr., the second half of this battle. And Jeff Jones would love to play spoiler. Vaughn Gittin Jr., the Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance RTR Spec 5D. Saw that video there, that Mach E 1400, really cool. The Ford Mustang Mach E. The electric vehicle. Had an opportunity to check out that vehicle. If you haven't seen the full video, definitely check it out. Full electric vehicle built for development and technology in the Ford family. So definitely check that out. And again, you saw that. All right, what's going on? Are we getting updates there, Pat? Are you saying no third gear? Oh wow! So we are getting word that Jeff Jones is actually starting in third gear. All right, should be interesting here. The opposite, looks like whatever, he's starting in third gear. Naren had no third gear. Here we go, lights are on. Let's send it here for third place. Jeff Jones, is he gonna play spoiler? Is it gonna be an all Drift Alliance podium? Here we go. Jeff Jones out front, that Doc Edelbrock, Nissan 370Z, CPR engines, clutch wheels go round with GT radials on the corner. Coming into that second outside zone. Jeff goes all the way out there. Look at that. And now coming in. Well, it's definitely a decel area. That was a strong decel, but then he turns the smoke machine back on. Vaughn Gittin Jr. goes into the side of him, continues through. Woo-wee. Ryan, Jeff did a really good job in that power rally, getting out to that second outer zone. I think in the decel area, he slowed down a considerable amount. You talk about that smoke trail. Watch how much it dissipates.
Well, he said he's starting in third. I wonder, does that imply he doesn't have second? And he gets a good jump here. Vaughn, I think, cautiously approaching, but great job on outside zone 2. 3, pretty good job as well. Massive e-brake pull there through that decel zone. Vaughn adjusts appropriately, and we don't see contact actually in that area at all. So both drivers did a good job making adjustments.
Bingo.
That's where we see it as Jones comes off that final outside zone number 4. Here it is again from camera 2 as we see Jones transition to inside clip 1. Vaughn looking for an area to attack. Pretty good job on staying on the line that Jeff Jones is drawing down. And as Jones approaches the final outside zone, he's on a little bit more of a tight line. Vaughn makes that contact, but both drivers come through unscathed.
That was an exciting run. Who gets third place here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship? Vaughn Gittin Jr. does. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets third place here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Round of applause around the world for Jeff Jones. Steps up in a major way. His whole team should be proud. He's buying dinner. It's gonna be a good meal, and man, it's gonna taste great. I would love to see him taste that carbon fiber, but unfortunately, that was awesome. Let's take a look at the BC Racing Custom Coilovers side by side, going for gold. This place going for third.
Yeah, how did Vaughn get the win here against Jeff Jones? It was really about being measured on that chase run and putting down a solid, clean lead run. We saw Jones, and we knew that he had some problems with the vehicle starting in third gear on that second run. And Vaughn was aggressive enough, consistent enough to get through that battle, and that'll put us into the next one. We've got Vaughn Gittin Jr. putting himself in a big position here in the championship chase. He was already in second place. The only guy above him was Ryan Turk. So Turk and Vaughn are going to be jumping out ahead of the existing pack, while Chris Forsberg is trying to do enough damage to chip away to get back into that top 5.
That's right, that's right. So Forsberg versus Turk. Again, 2 Drift Alliance homies from the East Coast, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire. All right, so all DA final. Forsberg will move into 4th place for sure with a victory, or is that just in second? We're getting some, all right. Regardless, Chris Forsberg will jump into 4th. And Osbo stays in 3rd is what we're getting updates here, with Vaughn Gittin Jr. holding on to 2nd and Ryan Turk still holding on to the lead. So shaking things up quite a bit, man. I mean, from Adam LZ, Jeff Jones, Jonathan Nairn, you know, the usual suspects moving on. So here we go. Let's get ready. These are the finals, round 5. Remember, we're back here again tomorrow for round 6. Let's send it. Chris Forsberg leading the NOS Energy Drink Nissan 370Z. It's the Blackout Garage battle. Blackout, who's coming out on top? Chris Forsberg initiates. Past that front foot, taking that thing out into that second outer zone. Chris Forsberg really foregoing that into that outside zone. Definitely want to take a look at the replay here. Forsberg, massive angle all the way to outside zone. Turk didn't get out there. Kind of got thrown off there, Ryan. Can't see, we'll take a look at the replay. Who hit the front clip and where, and also that second outside zone in the power alley.
Yeah, it got weird right before inside clip number 1, or right after. And let's take a look at it from the drone first. Really tight.
Close.
And so you can see Forsberg did not push out wide to outside zone 2. And I think that caused Turk have to angle up and make that adjustment. So that could potentially be on Forsberg there. As we take some other looks at it, we'll get a little bit more clarity. And Forsberg, after he initiates, Turk is super close. Oh, you can see he gets off throttle through that inside clip. And that causes Turk to basically have to angle up to avoid collision. So something happened to Chris there in the lead position. And that is going to be duly noted for the spotter of Ryan Turk. And obviously Turk experienced it himself. But I believe that the judges will basically penalize Chris Forsberg for getting off throttle in that inside clip and not getting out to outside zone number 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a deficit on the side of Forsberg. You saw him where he hit that front clip. You know, he talked about his nitrous kind of not being active or not properly working prior to the Adam LZ battle. That seemed like he trusted the car, but it just did not push out exactly where he wanted to. So he center punched that cone, threw him off, and then theoretically threw off Ryan Turk as well. So now this is where it really comes to abreast here. This is it, or is this it? Are we gonna have another one more time? Let's see. As we can see, Forsberg on the line. Ryan Turk, here we go. Ryan Turk in the lead. Chris Forsberg, give it chase. Send it, Texas, around the world. Ryan Turk initiates into that first outside zone, into the second outside zone, past that front clip, into the second outside zone, through that power rally, delivering. There's Chris Forsberg right to the door of that Gumout Toyota Race Toyota Corolla hatchback. Ryan Turk, our current points leader, and his good friend Chris Forsberg going toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel. Make some noise for an All Drift Alliance podium.
Bringing out the old school, huh?
Hey, I mean, they're still running the wreaths.
Here we go, run number 2. Ryan Turk on his lead run, gets through a bit smoother than Chris Forsberg on outside zone 2. Forsberg attacks on outside zone 3, putting the pressure on Ryan Turk through this final section here as Turk wraps around. And we get a good look there. Here it is, straight line approach from Ryan Turk. Nice little snap rolls into it. Quick pace through inside clip number 1. Forsberg doing a good job following as Turk comes up a little bit short and goes off. See, these shots really pick up things from different angles that give you a greater perspective. Now, I think that I still believe that the first run, the lead run from Forsberg, is going to be substantial in the overall evaluation. The second run, Turk forgoes outside zone 2, and Forsberg does a much better job in proximity, following Ryan through the entirety of that outside zone 4, and also doing a great job from 2 to 3. So the judges now doing their final evaluations, and we will bring the the drivers down front for the announcement. And then Jared, you're going to be over there, so please join us for the podium ceremony.
Yeah, come on over, join us for the podium ceremony. It's over near the stands where the fans are. So yeah, man, a great event. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Great weather, a little brisk, but I think it just contributed to an awesome run. Here's the side-by-side for the BC Racing Custom Coilover. Go for gold. Excuse me. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift.
Well, I think by the attitude that I'm seeing from the judges, it looks like we do have a winner, so we will bring them down as we take a final look at the BC Racing coilovers side by side. Who's it going to be, Chris Forsberg or Ryan Turk? The winner here, if it's Turk, further separation in the championship. If it's Forsberg, puts himself into 4th place and starts keeping the distance away from the other drivers, namely the guy to his left and the guy to his right.
And here they are, our 1, 2, and 3. Make some noise for them. All Drift Alliance podium since 2004. This has never been done. These guys are OGs from day 1. Round of applause, high five all around. Unbelievable. And there it is. So, Ryan, I'm really looking forward to round 6, but it's all about round 5 right now. So join us at the podium. Carbon fiber trophies. And here we go. 3rd place here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship in that Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. 3rd place, Vaughn Gayton Jr. Vaughn Gayton Jr. gets 3rd place. Yeah, that's from you. You definitely did that there, Vaughn. So 3rd place goes to Vaughn Gayton Jr. I don't know if they can hear me over here. And now, your winner here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, as Chris Forsberg and Ryan Turk are chatting it up. Make sure they can hear me. And your winner here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship is Ryan Turk. Ryan Turk gets the win in the Gumout Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback. Ryan Turk gets the win. They can barely hear me. That means 2nd place. 2nd place goes to the NOS Energy Drink Nissan 370Z. Chris the Force Forsberg, 2nd place. Ryan Turk 1st. Chris gets 2nd. Vaughn Gayton Jr. 3rd. Again, it was unanimous that Ryan Turk got the win. Congratulations. He hasn't won since New Jersey last year, and he's your current points leader. So Turk, Forsberg, Gayton. Lorette Nick, are you down there? Can you grab Turk and have some words with their winner?
Hi guys, I'm down here right in the middle, and Ryan Turk, congratulations. Amazing, amazing job. Man, you said that today earlier you were making a few mistakes, but you were finally able to clean it up. What clicked into place?
Honestly, it was the battle of the least mistakes for a lot of the battles that I was in, because I made a lot of mistakes and the other driver, some of the other drivers that I drove against did the same, and it was tough. I didn't feel that comfortable today. We were just struggling trying to get really proper on the line, and man, I'm just happy. I honestly can't even believe I'm still in disbelief that I got the win, let alone we've been working on this 1, 2, 3 Drift Alliance podium literally since we started drifting, and it finally happened. So that's the most I'm pumped on, is that I get to share the podium with my homies right here that I basically started drifting with from day one, and that means a lot to me. So I'm thrilled to walk out of here with that.
Yeah. And earlier I was asking you, how is everything? And you said everything is nervous, and there's obviously so much emotion right now. When were those nerves able to be settled?
They haven't all day, even from top 32 with Kyle Mohan onwards. I was just today, I didn't really nail it in practice, and if I don't do that, then I come in extra nervous. And had a good battle with Kyle Mohan that calmed my nerves a little bit, and then just moving forward, I couldn't clean up my line perfectly the way I wanted it to. I was a little bit off here or a little bit off there, and it just, I think I'm being a little hard on myself, but it's just the way you have to be. I want to be better out there and throw some better tandem down. And coming into the finals at Forsberg, he was killing it all day, had a fast car, and I was nervous. Even though it's my homie, I was nervous. We wanted to win this thing, and thank God we did, thanks to my team and everybody supporting us at the Papadakis Racing side of things, and my crew chief, Brian, the rest of my team, Nick, and Dominic. My wife came here. I haven't even seen her since we got married a little over a month ago, so it's going to be awesome to share that with her. And man, I'm pumped. Can we pop the champagne yet or what?
Absolutely. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Congratulations. I'm going to make my way over to Chris Forsberg as well. Sorry for interrupting, guys, but Chris Forsberg takes second place. Man, this must be such a relief to finally get that position.
Yeah, it was a weird weekend, like I was saying earlier. It wasn't until like top 16 that really kind of clicked. And, the car felt on rails after that. I felt like we had a shot to win, and we did. I just totally blew it in the transfer coming into inner one. Car just rotated a little too quick, and I center punted that cone. And right then I was like, I'm on the wrong place of the track, and I was just trying to get it back online, but knowing that I was basically throwing the run away. So just tried to give the fans a good chase run to really seal the end, really end the night, and it felt good. And so I'm really, really pumped to be on the podium with this thing and, getting back in the runnings.
Chris, congratulations. And Vaughn Gittin Jr. taking that third place. The Drift Alliance team on the podium finally. Man, this must mean so much to you.
Yeah, it's it's a lot. I was super emotional last round in Seattle, and now to be sharing this with my boys. Drift Alliance is something that's very special to us. Like, we don't promote it and do it as much, but it's still our brotherhood. And we've had a lot of 1s and 3s and 2s and 3s and 2 of us on the podium at a time, but never all 3 of us. And I think it's just a testament to passion and commitment and what we love. Our love for the sport. And it feels great. I'm pumped. I really wanted to be running that for that 1 and 2 spot, but I'm super pumped. We got some great points. Getting to spray my boys with champagne, and then we get to come back tomorrow and do it again. So huge shout out to everybody watching the live stream and everyone that came out. Those stands, I was impressed how many people came here given the circumstances, and the love was felt. So thank you guys, and tune in tomorrow because we're going to put it down. Think of this as a warm up. It's go time now.
Love it. Vaughn, congratulations. Congratulations to Ryan Turk, Chris Forsberg, and Vaughn Gittin Jr., your podium here for round 5.
Woo-wee. Look at that. Ryan Turk, 372. Vaughn Gittin Jr., 340.
Oh, boy.
Osbo in third. Forsberg, 264. That's his race number, 64. Denofa, 260, shaking things up. And like Vaughn said, this is just a warm-up. Tomorrow it's go time once again, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. This is how Ryan Turk did it. Seeing Forsberg go for it. Ryan Turk just, unfortunately for Forsberg, he made that big mistake there on that front clip and then avoiding that outside zone too. Ryan, your thoughts?
Well, you know, what's interesting for me is we're going to do something once again that we've done 2 other times before this year. We're going to come back and do this all over again tomorrow. And you have to imagine that something that happened today, some kind of theme, is going to pop up again tomorrow. And what is that going to be? That's what we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, super excited. Texas Motor Speedway playing host to round 5 today. Tomorrow, we do it all once again. Round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Congratulations to our podium finishers here today, even yesterday. Jonathan Hurst, Blake Olson, and Derek Madison. But today is all about Ryan Turk with the win, Chris Forsberg second, Vaughn Gittin Jr. third. The hunt for the championship heats up as we keep it cool here in Texas. On behalf of Lorette Nickel, Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Dienda. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, let's take a look at the times tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And coincidentally, I had that Batman mask on. So thank you so much. And remember, daylight savings time, so set your clocks. Don't eat too much candy. Thank you for joining us. Happy Halloween. Yep, that's right. Howling at the beers here in a moment as we're going to howl at the champagne. So again, all right, so as you can see, the beautiful wide shot there, Big Haas, the screen. There it is, 9:30 tomorrow a.m., not p.m. So just to clarify, 9:30 a.m. Central Time, top 32, 12:15 break, and then 1:30 p.m. is when we're going to kick off top 16 tomorrow. Ryan, thanks so much, man. See you tomorrow.
You're welcome, and thank you very much. Knuckles.
One, son. All right, we'll see you at the podium. We'll see you online, and we'll see you another time. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.